All right. Um, First off, I'm gonna check that I'm streaming. If you somehow are watching right now, apologies for the weird setup. It does seem like I am streaming. I don't know why. I don't know how to change the title on OBS. Um, I think OBS seems to be working a little bit better, guys, which at least is good. Streamlabs was like a little harder to work with. It seems clear what's going on. All right, I'm gonna like talk, just checking if my volume's normal. Um, Volume check, volume check, volume check. Okay, so it's not recognized my volume. That's interesting. Um, all right, what about now? Okay, I can hear myself, but I'm getting feedback. Why? Oh, oh, okay. I don't know why. Am I really not audible? Oh my God. Okay. All right. Six, seven. Okay, the audio is clear, and my is my music coming through at all? Because it should. I have it set up for the music to. There's no. Okay, okay. There's no music. Okay, now it's set up, but I don't know if the layering is good. Jesus Christ, there's feedback. Oh wait. Okay, now there's no feedback, right? There's echo because I was looking at my Twitch stream. I did noopsie. What about is the volume level like good? All right, so this is something where like you can listen to me mostly. Do I turn the music down? What do you think? Okay, because we're gonna be calling on here, so we want to make sure that our volumes are good. My volume isn't way above yours, but you can't hear music at all. That's weird. No music. That's very strange. All right, you know what? We don't really need music for this. I gotta cut out a lot of stuff, man. I gotta cut out a lot of stuff. Um, but we can figure out how to do that in post. All right, hop in the call. Real professional hours here, guys. Hopefully, I really hope there's no feedback coming in from the Discord call. All right, so I will start this as the introduction, and on the YouTube part, we will crop out here because looks quite embarrassing till then. Hey guys, this is Kingler. I did the PULT finals VOD, but it was my volume was like all the way down, like it was unlistenable. So this is a re-recording, and I actually decided to bring on a guest. Why don't you introduce yourself? All right, you're gonna hate this. Sorry, I don't think you're coming through. I don't know how to make you come through. Like, I don't understand why. Oh! It needs to be a specific thing on Discord. I thought it didn't matter. Okay, what if I try to?
During the Grand
Okay,
Slam.
now you're coming through. Now you're coming through fine. I used a different app, but I need to turn you down.
Mm.
All right, say something.
Yo, test, 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 test.
I need to turn you down a little more. All right, say something again.
Put me down.
I might need to turn you down a little more. All right, say something again.
Testing, testing. Is there no
Yeah,
one
I
that
think
can
I think I think
watch
you're
the
coming
stream?
through. Yeah, I think we need someone else to watch this stream, but um uh yeah, I don't know.
Mm. It says you got two viewers. Can you see who the other one is? Because one of them's me.
Okay, the other one might be there are sometimes these AI that come in, so it might not be a real viewer. Hey, if you're another viewer,
I'll
do you
be
mind typing
honest.
in the chat? If you're viewing the stream, you must type, otherwise we'll have to kick you out. I don't know if they'll buy that. I don't think they will. Um
Yeah, maybe you should look.
Let me see if my mods are around. If they could help, it would be a huge help. But to me, at least, say something again.
Yeah, testing, test.
All right, keep saying stuff, and then I'm gonna say stuff. So keep talking. La 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 la
Yeah,
la 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 la
can
la.
continue
Okay, I
talking,
think
and now
I
we're both
think
talking at the same
yeah,
time.
I think our levels look good, and I don't really care about the music honestly. I hope it comes through, but if it doesn't, I'm not really stressing. Let
The other
me
thing I can do
introduce
is I
my
have the stream open, and so if there's a small delay, I can say something and then unmute, and hopefully there's no feedback.
Wait, do you have headphones on?
I have, yeah, AirPods in, and I'm only talking to my phone, not my
Oh,
laptop.
if there's AirPods in, then when you're listening on your AirPods, um, it's interesting that it
Oh, wait,
takes
we got a
my
response. We got a response. DBD just confirmed both our voices are clear. Thanks, buddy.
voices are clear. We're chilling. I'm not way above. Um,
Yeah, we're just going no music. We're going acapella.
yeah. That's how you do it. That's the skilled way, dude. I'm gonna have to cut so much of this out, man.
No,
Oh my
okay, you just have
god.
to mark where in the VOD
Okay, so I am
it
louder
is.
than Reggie, which is interesting. Okay, so I can turn you up a little bit.
And no
Okay.
one want to hear your voice, man.
Yeah, no one want to hear my voice. I mean, I'm really hitting the boundaries here. Maybe I can go a little louder, a little lower. But I do feel the paranoia from the previous PULT video where I was like, I could not hear myself if I tried. No, my voice is beautiful. I appreciate that, DVD. I
Nah,
appreciate
he's talking
that.
about me. He's talking about me.
Okay. Right, of course. Um, okay. So I think now that we're listenable, I do have not to big time you guys. I do have somewhere to be, so let's try getting this done within an hour. Should have done the logistical stuff before, but had a busy day. So anyway, happy Friday, guys. We're bringing you PULT. We got Regiboob. And I'll just introduce you real quick. Regiboob is an NFE player who played PU, and then made PULT, NULT, somehow made it into the semis, and then I casted the semi series. He won against Haida to get into the finals. So very impressive performance by you, Reggie. You're up against Megazard. Megazard is one of the OGs of PU. He has been around for around a decade at this point, since Horas days when
Yes.
Uncle over here won the first PUPL. So very
Damn.
experienced player. Yeah, I did. It's funny.
I didn't know any of this. I didn't even know that MZ stands for Megazord. What the fuck?
Yeah. Because you don't even know what you don't know. And so Megazard's been around for a while. He played for the Breakers. I believe he was the Breakers Piusa, but he ended up getting slotted in for the Breakers come playoff time, and he won a very important playoff game against Void. Unfortunately, the Breakers did not won finals because they lost in the tiebreak. But Megazard was a very, very valuable playoff piece. Clearly, a player that was already considered like a very valuable player in PU, but now he has that, SCL stamp of approval. So a very threatening opponent to go into. Could you like give me a little bit of insight into what you felt going into Megazord generally, and then going into the game?
Yeah, for sure. So like before the game, all I knew about MZ is that he's the tier leader or one of the tier
Hmm.
leaders. That's all the context I had. I was like, that's a
Okay.
real guy.
Okay.
Um, but also I'd faced pretty stiff competition in the first few rounds of the playoffs. So I played
All right. Let me pull this
Memphis
up. Hold
Depay.
on.
Yeah, I played Memphis Depay in the first round of playoffs. And that's a guy that went X and O in BLT, which is another tour that I eventually won.
Also,
Yeah, he went
interesting
X
that
and O,
he
so that was pretty. Yeah, yeah.
also, I kind of did cut you off, but like he made Smog on Tour semis or something, I believe. He went
hmm
like kind
hmm
of crazy. So, very, so Memphis to pay round one, while some of these guys have buys, I assume from being top seeds. Then we see round two.
Yeah, round two, I
Uh,
played Platon, who is like a. Some people call him a ladder hero. He is pretty good at PU. Um, both of them were PUPL starters, whereas I was chilling on the bench the entire tour.
yeah, Platin, a very, very well respected PU player. And then round three, we see you're up against VBHL.
Yeah, so that guy's a relatively more sort of unknown guy. He's a newer account, newer than me even, I think, if you check the join date.
Yeah, I'm
Oh no,
looking at
never mind.
join
I'm
days.
newer. I'm
No, he's
newer.
23, but he is what I would call like I would look at that username and go like, who is this? Like what? I
Yeah.
don't even know who these guys are. So I kind of see your point. And then moving
Yeah.
on to
And then
semis, we
Hida.
obviously, yeah. So you got Hida.
And you covered
What
that set. That was a good set. I enjoyed that.
what was the deal with this guy? Is like he seems like he's been around for a while. I don't really know the name, so maybe it's a name change from something. But seems like this is a
Yes, that's
pretty
Emery
like
Moore.
okay. So not I have no idea who this is. But it is they won NUPL, so they clearly know what they're doing. And dude, the other side of this bracket looks ridiculous. You got Blash and Exus, which are, I mean, they're really good SS players. Maybe they're not like so elite at SV, but like that into MZ is like a deathly bracket, and MZ had to clearly do some work to get here. Whereas your players aren't like noobs either, but it's definitely like there were some threats in this pool. I don't know if it's like inaccurate to say that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think I came out on the sort of easier half of the bracket.
Yeah, but
Respectfully, like
but
I respect all my
but
opponents, of course, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, let's be honest. You play who you play. I feel like the whole bracket luck is like a bit of a thing, but doesn't take away from your run so far. Getting to finals by itself is a huge accomplishment. I'll
Uh,
start going through the game. I don't know how you plan on following, or if I should share in Discord because I know there will be audio sources. But however you're following along, I will kind of get started. I'll try putting it on like we'll just figure out what speed we're on, okay? But I'll kind of let you go through like why do you bring this team, and then we see I'll talk about Megazard's team, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm watching your stream right now. So
Yeah.
there might be a slight delay, but I got it on and muted. So
Okay. Okay.
I can follow the VOD as we go.
Okay.
This team, the idea behind it was I think I saw a decent bit of saw a lot of soccer spam on
Mhm.
NG's um, just a lot of guys that run Sucker Punch, and then also I was very aware of Extreme Speed Arcanine, which is the new toy that everyone's playing with. Um, and so I wanted to run a Dazzling Bruxish, which is not completely off meta, but like, it's something that you have to think about when you're running Bruxish, because if anyone doesn't know, Dazzling cancels, it means that priority doesn't work against you. And so that's usually really good for Ambipom. Ambipom wasn't a huge problem in MZ Scout, but it's also really good for Sucker Spam. It's really good for E-Speed and a few other sort of niche picks, like Decidueye, Shadow Sneak, for example.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just put that guy in the builder. This is an SD Bruxish with Psychic Fangs, Liquidation, Aqua Jet, and then a bunch of guys to support him, basically. So this is Covert Cloak, Decidueye with Defog and the Broken Move, Triple Arrows. Um, Rotom Heat is pretty standard. I run it a bit slower than most people do to have more speed def.
Oh yeah,
I think that ended up.
you're the bulky set. I believe this was
Mhm.
um maybe we talked about this at some point during PDPL, but I know it became like I know it was in the ether, so I'm not like and I wasn't like the most involved, like I don't know the most ball about SV, but seeing you mention it did make me think about that.
Yep,
But
yep.
yeah,
And then yeah, my Bombardier is Choice Scarf because otherwise this team is really slow.
yeah.
Golurk is Stealth Rock Cobra Berry, which is always
Hmm.
nice. And then Salazzle is secondary speed control with Nasty Plot Encore,
Hmm.
which
I really
is
like
even more sort of, yeah, thinking about sucker spam.
I really like the funny idea of like two setup sweepers that punish soccer, three just complete pivots. Like they do other stuff, but like you're really pivoting in. You bring in a goal alert, you break stuff, you bring in Bruxton and Slazzle, and then you sweep like conceptually as like someone who dabbles here and there in the lower tier. This just seems like a team I would love to run. And like to your point about Bruxton like not being stronger, it's like you will scout for dazzling here and there, you scout for dazzling for a turn, but really the reason people run Bruxish is that strong draw stuff. So it's like the mind games you're creating by a guy staying in on sucker and then finding out the hard way is going to be really tough.
Yeah. Another
Yeah.
small thing that was kind of going on in my head that I wanted
Hmm.
to create was this Bruxish is dazzling, but in
Hmm.
another team, like in a future game, I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
another Bruxish that isn't dazzling, but I want you to think it's dazzling.
Oh
So
my
I was
god.
really hoping that dazzling would show off this game, if
Yeah.
not in an actual interaction, at least in how I play it.
Yeah, yeah. Spoiler alert. I did. That VOD was an hour and a half long, and I do remember being like, "Oh, he just changes the ability. Cool." So Megazord's team, I'm going to talk about real quick. Mudsdale probably defensive stealth rock, right? Arcanine probably curse. Slowbro is probably mind gaming bro with surf and sludge bomb and terra water. That really inventive set that we love to clown on me for. Bombardier is who cares? It's a bombardier. It can do whatever it wants. But Rotomo is going to be either pivot or scarf. And then there's a Mesprit, and I don't know if this surprised you, but I was shocked. I see this guy in ZU as the defensive, like Rocky Helmet rocker, and I guess Uxi's not in here anymore. But like, what do you make of this? What do you think of it on preview?
Yeah, it is a bit of a niche pick, the Mesprit. Something that I was thinking on preview is that he actually has three potential rockers. And when
Mm-hmm.
I see potential rockers paired with Mudsdale, I always think the Mudsdale might be something else. So it could be AV, it could be Banded, I've
Ooh,
seen.
okay, okay,
Um,
okay,
yeah, it could be a
and
bunch of shit. So yeah, when you see
yeah.
Mudsdale as a not solo rocker, you got to start thinking about what it could potentially be. Mesprit can run sort of nasty plot, draining
Mm-hmm.
kiss, like a budget Yuxi, what Yuxi does
Mm-hmm.
in NU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually remember what this guy was. He can also
Yeah,
use Scarf Trick.
we'll talk about what he
Yeah.
was in the game. We could be Scarf right, like you said. So there's like a Scarf Mesprit angle, a Scarf Rotom angle, a Scarf Bombardier. Like this guy can like any of his mons can be any set basically, besides maybe
Mhm.
Arcanine and bro. So there's like a lot of a lot of things for you to think about here. But I will say, like your Rotom, he just man, you get one nasty plot up. It's looking, it is very free real estate. So we'll start off with the lead seeing Bombardier and on Rotom Heat, the Volt Switch, and at this point, I mean, you can probably tell Bombardier's SDF, it did like zero damage. And like, can he tell anything about your Rotom Heat set from this? Like, would max special attack do this much? Or I'm guessing he knows you're defensive.
No, it's just no special attack investment, which is
Okay, no.
standard across all Rotom Heats. Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
unless you're
Were you
like Scarf.
considering? Mhm. Were you considering like Wisping here? Do you think he was going to Arcanine, or was it just like, yeah,
Uh, well, I'm not Wisp. Plot
oh,
instead.
oh, right. Fair enough.
Yeah, because with the
Um,
bulky set, you want to be plot so that you beat other Rotom Heat.
yeah. Also, like, otherwise, I can just, yeah, everyone sits on you. That's a question I had during the first class, so I'm glad you, and you go into Decidui. All right, you can do, honestly, just explain your turns. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Bombardier is not clicking Brave Bird turn one on a Rotom
hmm
Heat. That's just
hmm
not happening. Decidueye is my removal, so if he is the rocker, like I suspected, I can just defog straight away. If
hmm
he's going for a knockoff, I take it about as well as anyone else. And this Decidueye is Covert Cloak, which doesn't do all that much in this game
hmm
unless we see something like Psychic Noise on the Mesprit. I think he gets Psychic
Yeah,
Noise. But
maybe.
yeah,
I think so. I think
Covert
so. I
Cloak
think so.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't one of my most important items, and I was willing to lose it.
Also, should mention on defensive bombardier, you could see a lot of like knock you. Like, I don't even see a reason for this guy to really run defend like Bravebird on defensive bombardier. So like, maybe you just honestly stay in and just like think he does it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very rare to see flying move on a defensive Bombardier.
Yeah. So he ends up stealth rocking. He parting shots on the Decid, Mesprit, Steve, Defog, and now we see a nasty plot. So, want to tell us what was going through your head at this point?
Yeah. One thing we kind of missed a little bit earlier is seeing rocks from Bombardier confirmed that the Mudsteel is going to be some funky shit.
hmm
So already in my calc, I'm going like, what if it's banded? What if it's AV, etc. Um. Anyway, yeah, Nasa plot from Mesprit. I think that's actually the set that automatically goes into your calc if you're using Shodex. So it wasn't unexpected at all. It's the ZU set anyway, and I played the ZU as well, so I kind of know
hmm
what to expect. It wasn't the biggest threat in the world. I just kind of think I even have time to pivot out instead of hard switching.
Yeah,
I don't
you
remember what
you
I did
you
here.
turned here, and the crit here. I'm guessing ignores the attack drop and then does 1.5 times on top of that. So instead of doing like 30%, you do 60%. So I can imagine like I don't know if you needed this necessarily. You have an encore Lazzle, but it probably feels pretty good.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Getting extra chip never hurts at all.
All right, and just to confirm, there's no delay here, right? I'm about to put my cursor on the city wise, so just so I'm
There's
putting in
definitely
three,
delay.
2, 1. Okay, there's a delay. All right,
Yeah.
so I'll cast and I'll let you explain.
Yep.
Uh old man over here. We see you going to Bombardier, so you're in effect saying, "Hey, I'm Scarf Bombardier. I'm Scarf Bombardier. You need to switch out." Um, and what do you think you can knock here? Do you think you can U-turn? What are you thinking?
Knock is an option. U-turn's also an option to scout for a greedy sort of Terra, like an early Terra. Because if
Oh
he pops
yeah,
Terra
yeah.
here and I knock, my bird is
hmm
instantly dead.
hmm We see a U-turn, so and then he doesn't even switch to preserve, so he tries to do, I guess, just the sort of thing where it's like, I'm just going to give up the Mesper. I don't see another play, and then he just gives up the Mesper. But I think given the fact that he could Terra, pretty cool U-turn.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Also, I don't want to. I mean, for him, uh, it's pretty hard for his Mesprit to get any HP back because I have a whole Rotom Heat right there. You know.
especially defensive Rotom Heat too. So at
Yeah,
that, it's like, yeah. See you
yeah. I
go to
think my Rotom Heat
Bruxish.
is.
Mhm. I cut you
Yeah.
off. Sorry, Ken.
No, I was just saying my Rotom Heat is calm. Like it's really special
Yeah.
defensive. But yeah, I go into Bruxish because that is the guy whose set is the most sort of. There's still question marks around it.
Mhm.
And MZ has to be careful of Scarf. He has to be careful of Band,
Mhm.
D, etc. So as a free switch, it just kind of poses the most questions. Whereas all of my other guys, the sets are probably pretty telegraphed.
Also, like imagine like a goaler coming in, just Bombardier's like, okay, now you need to get out of here, and like Salazzle comes in, you get the Scarfer coming in and just like harassing you. Like Bruxish is like such a mid ground where it's like, what does he actually do here? He needs to show his cards, in a
Mhm.
way, which also I like. And we'll see him go slow, bro. Instead of the Bombardier. Well, the Bombardier actually is like makes no sense, especially like because he needs to scout if you're dazzling. Arcanine and Mudseal make no
Yeah.
sense, and he doesn't go road and mow. So already something happening with him not going road and mow, but maybe it's a stylistic choice. I do know this has implications for the road and mow side at the end, right? Like mini spoilers.
Yeah. No, because even if he's Scarf Rotom Mo, if he's fearing a Scarf Bruxish, there's no point going into it. And you just take a
Yeah,
lot from
yeah. Okay,
Kupangs
so
or you get flipped on.
okay. So versus
There's no
Scarf
reason to go
Bruxish,
Rotom Mo.
probably
Slow Bro is
problem.
definitely
Okay.
correct.
Okay. I like that a lot. So, all right, say something again real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going
We're
Slow Bro is
also
definitely correct.
okay. So, and then we see you go Goaler here. Instead of
Mhm.
like the Bombardier and pivoting, what made you do this over like Bomb?
I mean, Bombardier's Scarf, like that's still a very valuable piece. I think. I
Yeah,
don't want
it's
to
gonna
take
be
a
yeah.
random Toxic or something like that. Whereas Gollark
Mm,
gets rocks up, hopefully, and forces
mm.
out the Slow Bro as a breaker.
Yeah,
I think
and
the
I
HP
do.
on Gollark was more expendable.
Yeah, I feel that, and like the move on Golurk is also less spammable because you can't spam D punch or EQ or and then with Bombardier you just click the move knockoff and there's so much value, or U-turn.
Mhm.
And he ends up hitting you with the mind gaming pro reveal and surfs on the switch. Really a cool play by Megazard. It's not like it's not like the genius that like it's not like it won't blow you away, but it's like really good play by him, especially after he kind of lost his Mesprit for free. So you see him surf, so you're probably thinking he's that CM set, I'm guessing, right?
Mhm.
Um,
It could also
and
be
then
AV.
it could be AB too. And then we see rocks. So rocks are really important to get up here. He has no removal aside from potential defog removal. I don't even know if it gets that anymore. But he rocks
He has
as
no removal.
he surfs again, and you get hit. It turned out that 49 was a bit of a mid to high roll because the next surf was 46. Were you like pretty confident in leveling this surf?
Yes, I think in order for that to be like it was too low a roll for it to be super invested, I think, if I'm remembering this
Hmm.
correctly. And so I was fairly convinced that this was a CM bro with little to no special attack investment. And so 49 was already a high roll, and it was a very
Wonderful.
small chance to.
Wonderful. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. So yeah, so you kind of know going in that I mean, if we Terra waters to kill you, that's just like it's such free real estate. Like he gave up his Terra, now your Rotom's gonna like full switch forever, and the Surf ends up not killing you, which you got. And
Mhm.
then we see him go Bombardier as you actually Poltergeist, which makes complete sense. So you did 36%. What is up with his damage, dude? Like, how did this happen? How did
Gollar's a strong guy, dude.
I was just like, I was like, because now like a super effective hit from Rotom Heat is doing 38%, and like Golok does 36%. It just like blew my mind.
Oh, yeah, Bombardier, the bulky Bombardier set is always SPDEF.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
and, most of the time it's SPDEF, so yeah, it doesn't have that much physical bulk.
and it's still like faster, so you're probably just gonna try to stack as he like needs to kill you off, right?
Mhm.
Uh,
I think
oh, we
there's a
see
world
him.
where he's not faster.
Yeah, we see him rough. So, you're saying he would need like a decent amount of invest, right? Because you probably hit 229, right? Or 209?
Yes, no, I was adamant. So I
Okay,
hit
so you hit 209.
oh no,
He
never mind.
needs
I'm
he
180.
needs
Like I'm not even full
oh,
speed.
okay, all
Yeah.
good. So you dynamic punch as he stealth rocks because you can do a billion things. You can go into your Decidui as he attacks you, and he can't roost on you because you're going to triple arrows him. So it's kind of risky for him to do anything if you roost. Obviously, dynamic punch is going to mog you. So just stealth rocks to get like some progress as you kill him off. Nice turn by both. I think nice turn read by you, just realizing, oh, I'm gonna make you kill me, and then you can't guarantee progress. This kind of stuff is always what lets you like press advantages. So I really like that. We
Mhm.
see him go Arcanine, reveals boots, which is information,
He also reveals
and
his ability, by the way.
also reveals
This one is
intimidate, so not
intimidate,
flash bar.
which
So
is good
nasty flash.
info for yeah, it's good info for the Rotom.
Mhm,
Sometimes these run flash fire, so in a later game that we're going to cover, it's flash fire. There's additional mind games there, but we'll get there when we get there.
mhm.
This one's intimidate, which
Um,
is pretty standard, and you're thinking it's going to be boots scarf. Sorry, not scarf. Boots curse e speed.
hmm. So I feel like here it's kind of worth thinking about like what was going through your head and how you wanted to secure this game. Because I feel like this Arcanine is really his win condition. Like the other stuff is gonna switch in on stuff and then they're gonna like but really it's like this Arcanine that can like 1v6 you, right? So what was like your plan for this Arcanine?
Yeah, big time. I was honestly at this point the pressure was getting to me.
Hmm.
I'm remembering sort of what I was feeling as opposed to what I was thinking. Because if I was thinking, I would have secured this game pretty cleanly from this position. Because looking at it, like you say, um, the cards are in my hands. I'm up 6-4. I'm ready to let my Golurk die, but not without forcing some kind of move out of Arcanine. So possibilities are he starts cursing up right now with a Terra, because I think if he Terra normals and curses, my Golurk does less than 50% with the EQ. I think I actually clicked Dynamic Punch because of that, the off chance that he did. But I think he just where's his kill here. If you can
Okay.
just click
Yeah,
play
yeah,
and
yeah,
see
yeah.
what he played.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does actually kill you off, but you're saying you dynamic punch because if you turn normals and curses, then your EQ isn't doing so much, and then you kind of
yeah.
have to deal with that.
And the
Makes
confusion is
sense.
always nice on a guy with plus attack from the
Yeah,
curse, even though the
and it's
defense
also
cancels out. Like, yeah.
also cool to like see like what you were saying like feeling as opposed to like because I feel like in finals like this Megazord guy is really good, and like I don't even think he's played that well so far. He's played okay, but not that well, and it's just like the finals pressure is like both of you two are really good players, but you're just gonna play a little bit worse because of how like high the stakes are, right? So as
Mhm.
Arcanine kills you off, and like you said, you're aware of like the stern normal minding, where if he turn normals, your Hesidio can actually start triple arrow spamming, and it's like a problem for him.
Yep.
He needs to flare blitz to kill you off. But if he doesn't turn normal, your Bruxish is like you said, it's dazzling and it's like it does all those nice things. But here's your fundamental problem for me. Once the Arcanine turn normals, the Bruxish doesn't even doesn't beat it that reliably
Mhm.
unless you have some HP to spare. So we're gonna
Exactly.
see
But
go
I have
into
an
this.
additional tech for Terra Normal Arcanine right here, which is Terra Ghost on the Nasty Plot Lazo. And so right here, I'm trying to
Oh,
force
I
the
see.
Terra. And if
Hmm.
he does Terra, then my Lazo is a solid win condition. Because if I get a plot up, looking at his remaining guys,
It's Jover.
I
It's
don't,
Jover. Even a
yeah.
Scarf Rotom can't do anything to you. It can't kill you. Maybe even with Terra, but without Terra, it definitely can't kill you. The Slowbro's not doing anything because kind of like he could be AB still, Mazio could be AB still, but like it's like these aren't really what you imagine are good answers, especially the Terra goes to Laszlo. Pro doesn't even kill it, right? So it's like
Mhm.
it's and we'll see you. Um, Also, you kind of reveal that you're not Boots, so you could still like from his perspective, it's like, oh, this could be a Scarf Roxas, right? That little element, and we see him go Slowbro as Slowbro reveals Boots, not AB, as
Yep.
Bruxish SDs, and so you kind of have in your mind this is going to be full Fizz Def Bro, and I do believe you reveal so you Psychic Fans here instead of nuking him with the Water move because the water move wave crash does like a lot of recoil. You're not even close to killing, right?
My water move was liquidation, not wave crash.
Oh,
I think that I was over predicting a Terra Water on the Slowbro
yeah.
because they
Okay, I
did pretty
see.
similar damage. Yeah,
Mhm.
Psychic Fangs and Liquidation. It's the same base power actually, so it's the same damage.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I see.
yeah,
Uh,
and
you
so
do
Psychic Fangs
reveal
just covers the Terra Water.
Mystic Water at some point, right? Am I like incorrect in thinking that, or is it
Yes,
just
so I
different?
haven't revealed my Mystic Water yet. I was
Okay,
specifically
okay.
Mystic Water and not Boots, so that it doesn't reveal when I switch in, and the SD is still a surprise, hopefully.
Okay, really cool. So I think I will say, and I don't know, this has already gone long enough, so I will try to speed this up and like let you talk more. But I think this is your first crucial error because we're going Rotomo here. Like, spoiler alert, the Rotomo is Scarf. Going Rotomo here is like it's either slower than Bruxish or Scarf Rotomo just gets nuked by liquidation still. And then if he Terra Waters here, um, he could do some damage to his Sludge Bomb. But effectively, Bruxish will beat the Arcanine, so you're struggling less against the Arcanine, and you have Terra Ghost, Encore Lasso. So I think the fact that he got through this turn without taking a ton of damage and you not Terraing is where this game like slips a little. We see him Shell Sidearm, does not get a poison. This thing does have a poison chance, right? I'm not incorrect in thinking that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, because I didn't see it twice in this entire scene. It was crazy. Um, and so we'll see you liquidation. So you kind of bluffed him. You're like, oh, he's like, oh yeah, I love whatever hits coming. Nope, liquidation, boom. So yeah, play ends up working out for you. And the Slowbro dies, and then we see him go Rotom, and then we see you go Rotom Heat,
Yep.
which I believe is fine. I think it is. I think it's okay because it's
Yeah,
not
I
like it
mean,
gives. Mhm, go ahead.
yeah, Rotom Heat is designed to to switch in on shit like Rotomo. Like if you're full SPDF,
Yeah,
you have the type advantage. You eat whatever it does. It can't set up on you. This is
yes,
ideal, pretty much.
yes, yeah. And like the fact that he's bringing it on Rockfish is like kind of a, and he could be like 200 IQ bluffing, right? But there is a world where you just like rip it and let your Bruxers go, right? In Psychic Fans, so he probably is Scarf. And
Yeah.
so he's like showing his hand with Scarf here, 90%. And you go Rotamo, and he volt switches into Mudst. Like, was this as shocking to you as it was to me? Like him going Mudstail. I guess he knows you don't have Wisp, but it's like you have an Arcanine, my guy. Like you
Not
reveal
really, because
zero.
what does Arcanine do to Rotom Heat?
I guess that is true because you would need Terra Normal to break the Rotom, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas right here, you go Mudstail. You obviously not the rocker, which means you probably have a rock move, regardless of whether you're banded or AV.
Hmm.
So right now, he clicked the mon that can click a super effective move on my Rotom. I don't think it's as
Yeah.
shocking as
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess it is good to do that and not take chip on your Arcanine. Because with chip on
Mhm.
this Arcanine guy is suddenly like a big issue. And then we see him hard switch to Arcanine, which
Yeah,
now
you
I'm
got me there.
confused. Yeah, now I'm confused. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what this is. Maybe he's like, oh well, now he'll reveal Wisp, right? And you don't have Wisp, you overheat, so you get a -2. But it's like the pivoting's fine, but it's like if you just went Arcanine in the first place and burst and like Rotom Volt Switch or whatever, like I don't know. You bait out at either rate. He baits out the -2. So now Rotom is just gonna Volt Switch. You're gonna make like a clear progress play. So Volt Switch and Rotom, and then we see you go Celeste. You were talking about this Terra Normal, Terra Ghost to avoid the extreme speed, and then Encore play to lock it into Curse. Um,
Mhm. Or E speed if he clicks that.
into E-Speed, yeah, if he clicks that. And then we see him go Mudsdale, so he is onto you as you click a completely understandable Encore. And you didn't Terra for this, interestingly. Did Terra Normal E-Speed kill you?
No, so I think well, I can only assume from that interaction that one E speed didn't kill me yet, and so if I got the Encore into E speed, the next turn was the pop
Okay.
terror. Nasty plot.
Okay, I see.
Oh no, I think I was thinking if it does almost kill me, I can Encore it and then go into Bruxish, be immune to that with my
okay.
dazzling. Yeah, I'm remembering that now.
So,
Which
so,
was
so
kind of
he extreme
overcomplicated
speed
and not
drop
necessary.
and go brustish. Okay. Yeah, it is. I agree. And like obviously, like if you have toxic here, you 100% are like ghost toxic. There is no discussion on what you do here,
100%.
right?
Yeah,
I
no
feel yeah.
question.
So the fact that you didn't have toxic, and now it's increasingly looking like this guy's an AV Mudsdale. So it's not like you can just like dish attacks into this Arcanine because he's going to be too scared to Morning Sun as you encore him, right? He's going to try to kill you off. You can't even really dish damage because he has this Mudsdale. So
Mhm.
it can't really fault you for encoring whatsoever. And then we're gonna see you go into Hesed, which kind of just walls this Muzdale. You just do whatever you want to him. Muzdale EQs. It's not like you kill him off, but you just sit on each other. And then he aggressively goes into the Arcanine as your Hesed triple arrows. So you actually get the triple arrows into Arc, and the game looks real nice. Um, can you what are the odds of you doing a thing on triple arrows? Like, is it 10% drop, 10% crit, or like twice the crit rate, or what is it?
It's a high crit rate and it's a 50% chance to go -1 on defense, 30% chance for a flinch. So this is when we say broken move, this is what we mean.
Wait. You're
This
saying
move does,
it's a 50% chance to drop.
yeah.
Okay. In the first recording, I'm not gonna lie because I've seen this game before. I see him Morning Sun as my thought is okay. Regiboob needs to U-turn and go into Bruxish because Muzdale can't switch in on liquidation. Rotom can't really switch in on liquidation. And if Arcanine stays in, the only way it doesn't die is Steroid, which that's a decision I win, right? You have to Flare Blitz with Arcanine. And I still think, honestly, what I said is defensible because like you turn into Brux is a free kill, and he can't Flare Blitz here because then he loses his Arcanine, right? So I
Mhm.
still think it's technically correct to U-turn, but what you end up doing, given that situation, makes a ton more sense. Like you have triple arrows, and if he curses this turn, triple arrows into triple arrows is going to kill him. Does that -1 does Decidueye outspeed Arcanine?
You just saw it like morning sun, dude.
No. I'm saying at -1.
It
Like if he
it
Arcanine
drops
curses,
defense, not speed. Oh, if
if
it if
if,
it
if
curses, yeah.
Arcanine curses,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty
Okay.
sure.
Okay. So it's like,
Wait, I'm 156. I can run still.
oh, then he's going to be faster.
Yeah. Okay, he might still be faster if he curses then.
Yeah. He might like if he's very min on 226, then he goes down to like 150-ish, which is less than 156, but there is a likelihood he's faster at. But I'm mostly saying that to say like triple hour spam still looks very safe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um and then we see you go to Rotom Heat. And I think this is kind of the beginning of the end for you. So yeah, you can talk about this part of the game, I guess.
Yeah, going road and Pete was me trying to find a safe path to secure my victory, because at this point, yeah, I saw the situation. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm winning here. But
Mhm.
once I thought I was pretty sure I was winning, I was like, okay, do I need this piece to win against the guys in the back, as opposed to is the guy right in front of me a big threat? And that's just when you start playing really defensive. And I'll give some insight. So right after this game, before the next game, Brick, who's been on your cast before, he messaged me and he said, "Dude, don't play not to lose, click to win." And this is
Play
where
to
I was not
win.
clicking to win. Yeah, I took my foot off the gas and
Mhm.
punished for it. Yeah, as you're gonna see. So I go Rotom Heat. That means that I'm in the guy like of my five guys remaining. Rotom Heat is the one that pressures Arcanine the least.
Yeah,
So
it's
this is
like he's the only guy you could set up on.
exactly. It's the only and I just decided to give it to him for free. I don't know what possessed me to do that. I think I thought, oh, I go Rotom Heat this turn. He definitely can't Fair Blitz me to hell, and then I can get my Vault Switch for the super safe pivot into
Yeah,
whatever. But that pivot's so safe that the Arcanine
yeah,
is also safe, and it can set
yeah,
up and start doing some real shit.
yeah. So instead of you turning into the Bruxish and winning, we did this weird Rotom stuff, which is, and then he goes Mudsdale, Rotom Nasty Plot. So at least we're trying to pressure the Arcanine, which is really good because it would, like, Terra Normal would have to happen to beat the Rotom. But then Rotom overheats, and then he reveals what we were kind of thinking, which is over AB Mudsdale, right? Nothing, no
Yep,
other Mudsdale has taken 65 from a Rotom.
no chance.
And yeah, it's like it gets the boost and drops the Rotom into extreme speed range, and then try volt switching. It's a cute jump. Mudsdale CCs and kills off the Rotom. And then we're gonna see Bruxish come in, which is arguably, arguably you want to go Salazzle here, but I can get like Terra shenanigans with something this bulky can cause issues. But arguably you want to go Salazzle on the to revenge kill the Mudsdale because Rotom then doesn't want to revenge kill the Mudsdale, and then Salazzle because you have to bring in the Arcanine, and if Rotom can't wedge kill the Arcanine, maybe Terra Electric can, but like if Rotom has to bring in Arcanine, then you can Terra Ghost and then mess with the Arcanine more. So arguably, Bruxish is a mistake, but like completely defensible. We see him go Rotom Mull, and then we see you click Liquidation, which I assume you're scared here of like some Terra Steel shenanigans, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to secure my kill because I didn't secure the kill with my Rotom, which I really should have
Yeah,
done. There's no
yeah,
real
fair
reason
enough.
to Vault Switch there.
Yeah,
Um,
fair enough, fair enough.
yeah.
And then we see you liquidation on the Rotom, and then we go Hasid because it counters the Rotom. Now there's more stuff here, like maybe sacking the Bombardier as like Arcanine comes in, and then you knock off. But then if Arcanine gets a curse, like arguably Terra Normal wins, but not really against Hasid, and then it gets into all the speed tier stuff. So I'm not gonna go into like the 50 different ways this endgame could have played out. But all this to say that Hesed coming in can let Arcanine curse, but not super reliably because Triple R is a broken move. So Megazard
Yep.
decides to not play those games and he decides to Flare Blitz. I believe smartly because otherwise he would have been recovering 8% for like a 50% chance to auto lose on a death drop, right? So just horrible stuff. So he does the right thing, probably, and kills you off, and then you go Bruxish again. And now you have two Stealth Rock switch-ins on this Bruxish, but nothing can come in on the switch on Bruxish, uh, which arguably could make, like, a meme move like SDing on the switch here, like, really fun, but very understandably, we kill off the Mudsdale, and now Rotom
Yeah,
comes
so
in.
actually, this is where me not getting the kill on Mudsdale with my Rotom comes to bite me in the ass. Because if
Yeah,
the Mudsdale is dead right now, he only has one sack, which is the Rotom Mo,
which completely dies
which
to
means
just
that,
liquidation alone, and then liquidation
yep,
top with it. Like forget about it, you know.
yep, yeah. And
And
so,
so,
yeah, me
yeah,
not doing that came to bite me in the ass right here.
yep. This turn where we volt switch, like expecting the Arcanine switch to try to do all that setup stuff. A little bit of like ghost playing because like I've like had so many of those LC mons, right, where you get the one free turn, and then it's so like wishy-washy. They don't auto sweep, but you don't want to give them free turns, but you don't know how to play against them defensively or offensively. But realistically, you're probably fine because there's Bruxish and Decidueye for Terra and non-Terra stuff. But it's just so scary that we will switch that it's completely understandable. And then, so just to finish out the game, Bruxish comes in, Mazda gets sacked, Rotom comes in. We're probably expecting a Volt switch. But on the Salazzle switch, Megazord makes an incredible move and Thunderbolts. Like this was really class to me because if he Volt switched and then went Arcanine, you would Terra Ghost and Sludge Wave, and then I think you have the game sealed up, right? Or at least
Yep.
like you have a very good chance. And if you had Scarf Sucker or Bomb, you probably win this either way, which is funny. Um,
No, because Sucker Punch is lower priority than is extreme speed.
I'm saying for the Rotom.
Oh, for the Rotom, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then like, but this Thunderbolt is like, if you Volt Switch on the Lazo, that's GG. You know, if he
Yep.
Thunderbolted as you go Bombardier, and then Lazo comes in, probably GG because you win then because the way you have it set up, unless it's Terra Electric Rotom, which it doesn't seem like it is, because he's not really playing for that Terra Electric stuff because he would have probably Terra Electric. No, wait, he would be weak to Aqua Jet then. So I don't know,
Yep.
but probably not Terra Electric, right? So he's probably playing for like you want to Volt Switch on the Bombardier and you want to Thunderbolt in the Lazo, and he gets the call exactly right. This is why this guy's such a good player. He kills off the Lazo. Bombardier comes in, and Bombardier's slower than Rotom. But he ends up going Arcanine. I think he's scouting for you being. Why
For
do you think he
Sucker.
switched out here? For Sucker? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And we see Terra Rock. This is such a funny set, man. What's going on here?
Oh
Uh,
wait, no, no, no. That's why he had to. I hadn't popped Terra yet, so he had to
oh,
scout Terra
okay.
on that turn because if I don't Terra, if I do Terra, I live Ebolt.
Okay, so if you Terra, you lift T-Bolt as he T-Bolts, and then you Rock Blast, and then the Arcanine comes in, and you're resistant to E-Speed, and Rock Blast does a lot to Arcanine. So, I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
Terra Arc might still win there, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's cutting it really close. So the fact that he went
Yep.
Arcanine just seals this up, and then he goes,
Yep.
this, you rock blast, experience speed on the rock blast, and then you managed to get it to a point where you had to hit two leaf storms, which I think is quite impressive, you know, like otherwise if you just T-bolt then you're chilling. And then you go Bruxish,
Yeah.
Aqua Jet for the crit, no crit, and Leaf Storm hits, giving Megazord game one.
So
Um
in that end game, I think from the point where I clicked overheat, when
hmm,
I clicked Vol Switch on the Mudsdale, I honestly think that MZ got every single turn correct. And I don't know if I got any turns wrong after switching Rotom in on the Arcanine, but he just got every single turn correct. A couple of not 50-50s, but like, plays that had to be made.
Yeah, he
Um,
sacked the right thing. He predicted you want SD as he sacks the Mudsdale, right? He's making
mhm.
every single move he needs to. And then the T-Bolt on the Lazo is what just made me go like,
The T-ball
man,
on
I
the
knew
Lazo,
this guy
yeah,
was good, but like that's really impressive. And like then to switch out on the Terror Rock, just a really, really good game. I mean, obviously like this probably and you mentioned the what Brick said about not playing to lose, and that's kind of why he lost the game, but like just a really good game, even though it's messy, because that's honestly what the best games are, which is just like messy games where it's like every person's fighting for like that 1 inch, and like he just fought a little bit harder towards the end game. From like we look like 2 or 3 turns in. I mean, this dude is cooked, man. Like 8 turns in, the game's cooked for him, and then he manages to do that. Yeah. Any final thoughts about this game?
yeah, absolutely. Coming out of this game, genuinely, I was like, dude, I know I had the lead. I know that I choked that lead at least 2 times. I actually think that going back to the very, very, very end when I clicked Terra Rock on the Bombardier, I had to not Terra there, click any move really, knowing that he would scout my Terra and then save Terra Water on my Bruxish because Terra Water on Bruxish beats both Arcanine and Rotom because Terra Water
Oh
reject
yeah,
kills.
yep. And it would because it was so
Yep.
close to killing already. Okay, yeah, that would
Yep.
have been amazing.
So
Yeah.
I threw not once but twice, and I was like, dude, I have this group chat where shout out Brick and shout out Combine75. These guys helped me prep for this game. I was in that group chat right after the game. I was like, guys, I just lost this game twice. Like, what am I doing? left the house. I took a lap outside. I was like, dude, I'm not going outside. I'm not going outside. And I came back to game two with the mindset where like, if I lose this set, I'm not gonna lose by playing like a pussy. I'm not gonna lose by making stupid plays like or not making any plays. I'm just gonna, give it a good showing with myself, make the ballsy play if needed, and have some fun with it. And so that was my mindset going into game two. Like I'd try to shake off the negative vibes from choking twice, and get a fresh
Yeah.
team in.
Yeah,
What I can
that's
do,
that's really really wonderful to hear. And going into game two, I will have some stuff to say here, but I think the context you give us is very important to understanding what's about to happen. So I'll just say on preview, Megazord brings some weird stuff. Loadsel, a guy banned in ZU for like being CB. Like this guy's power creep. He's just bringing power creep ZU mons into PU. Like it makes no sense. It brings in Porygon 2, which is banned in ZU for just being too bulky, and then Floatzel for being too strong after Porygon 2 was gone, and then just four random bog standard PU mons. Meanwhile, you're bringing something interesting with like a Tatsugiri, Zoroark, Rotomuffin. So, take us through the team and then like what you felt about the matchup, reasons, etc.
Yeah, so Venusaur was actually Heatronator's idea.
Mm-hmm.
For some help from,
Okay.
from basically everyone I knew, and this was his idea, and I really liked it. You mentioned the guys that are just banned from ZU because they're power crept. The one mon that is ZU this entire matchup is Venusaur, and both of us have one, which is kind of funny. But yeah, this team was the last team that I built. I tested it the least, but it felt kind of cool. Like I won a couple of games on ladder with it, and I decided, you know what, this is a fun team to pilot.
Mhm.
Mm. And like I
Yeah,
said, if I'm gonna go out, I'm not gonna go out sad. I'm gonna go out having fun. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's a pretty standard sets on each guy, like, with the exception of Zoroark. Zoroark is banded. It's usually sort of I would usually expect to see it be scarf or spec, not band.
Mhm.
But I just liked how band looked on this. And
And
Flirtus is scarfed.
good. Flores and Scarp, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So that creates a little bit of a dynamic. Did you have any idea? And I'll just say, I really like to pick because I like in games where you need to win to create some sort of asymmetry. And what better way of creating asymmetry than the Statsugiri that can bluff specs and do like some insanely annoying stuff? Yes, you can switch in Slash on a move. You can switch in Florges on a move. You can't switch them in on the same move. You need them to be in like good condition. It doesn't end up being Spexier, but like a point being, like Tatsugiri creates these weird asymmetric situations, and Zoroark, like the king of asymmetric situations. First off, you don't
Mhm.
know if it's a Zoroark or if it's a Florges because they take the exact same hazard damage, or a Venusaur without boots because they take the same hazard damage from every single form of hazard, or a Tatsugiri without boots, obviously, but most Tatsugiris that are non-specs are running boots, and Venusaur too, but you get the point. So that it just creates these weird situations where now it's you make one play, bam, you're back in the series. You won the game, you're back in the series. So I really like that. Did you have in mind who you were going to set as your last, given that that's so important in Zoroark teams because you're bluffing another guy, right?
Yes. I didn't have the rocks chip in mind. I had, if I'm in on the actual guy, who are
Mm-hmm.
you most likely to click an attack on, that I can punish with my Zoroark? So I don't want someone that would click in it, that Florges would stay in on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want someone that something else would stay in on. I want something that Porygon would stay in on, or Venusaur.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
So
remember what I picked as
you're
my last
saying
one.
like, and I think you're kind of close to what you end up doing because I remember this game. But so you're saying like if Zoroark's blocking Florges and you're in on the Sand Slash, oh, Sand Slash like just takes its free spikes, but nope, you're gonna get hit with a CD knockoff, and now you're effectively not dead, but you don't counter anything anymore. You're at 40% without leftovers, you know? Or like this Venusaur, it doesn't like taking a banded knockoff. So like the bluff with Florges is just so strong, isn't it?
Yep, exactly.
and like the physical special dynamic too. So I don't know. Do you think you had a good matchup going into this? Do you think your matchup was okay, good, meh?
Thought it was all right. I really like the fact that obviously I have a Tatsugiri against that one guy that only clicks water moves.
Yeah,
That's pretty neat. But
yeah.
other than that, it felt like it was all to play for. Like I don't like looking at matchups and thinking, oh, this is a 6-0 in either direction. I never judge what the matchup is going to look like until the game sort of way through.
What did you?
Um,
Yeah, fair enough. I like that a lot. What did you think you needed to like? What were the dynamics in this game? Because for me, I will tell you. Like, I will tell you what I think about the matchup once you're done. But there's one specific reason I asked you that.
I thought Tatsu looked really good. Uh, I
Mhm.
thought Tatsu was and that was my win con because if I can get going with Tatsu, if I can get Venusaur down, and obviously chip on the slash, that'd be a really useful piece. My
Mhm.
Venusaur also looks fairly decent. The Porygon is a bit of a question mark because these Porygon
Yeah.
can be a whole bunch of different things. It can be really offensive, like Trick Room with max special attack and
Mhm.
download for the
Yeah.
special attack boosts, or it can be full Spidef, like just a fat bitch,
Mhm.
which is entirely possible.
Yeah, and I
Um,
will say, what's funny to me is that the Venusaur answer on both teams does seem to be Venusaur, which will create some interesting dynamics in the
I do
games.
have a Rotom, which is
Yeah,
a
you do
standard
have
Venu
to.
answer, especially if
Fair
I click
enough.
Terra Steel, then I hardwall it for life.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, and okay, so regarding the matchup, I will say I think you're on like I think your matchup's okay, especially because you have all this asymmetry and Zoroark Tatsugiri stuff. But I think you're on a huge strike. I think if he got a spike off without getting severely punished and he got a stealth rock off, like you are getting pressured so hard. Like Tatsugiri is a removal, and so that doesn't feel good to have, because he's always on a timer because he doesn't have recovery. And imagine spinning on any of these guys, except for Floatzel, that's locked into water mode. Imagine spinning on anyone. You're losing like 50% of your health. You know what I mean? So I feel
Yeah.
like that your matchup isn't bad because like you're offensive and you can play with stuff, but like this Paragon's not like there are just so many annoying guys for him that I felt a little bit worried for you in the lead. So I'll get started with the game. We see Tatsu lead from your end as Megazord goes Florges. And we see you go Rotom Heat because Florges, Tatsu can't really do much to full Florges and very super effective. And we see him press Trick. Now, was this something you were expecting? This is a crazy reveal by him for me.
Yeah, Trick Turn 1 was interesting because this is his, well, other than Total, this is his fastest guy, right? But I
Mhm.
realized my team is slow enough that Trick does make sense. There isn't anyone I would particularly want to take the Trick on, except for my other Trickers. Um, yeah, this kind of neutralizes my Rotom, which is not ideal.
Yeah,
Taking it on my floor just would have been nicer, I think.
yeah.
But
But
that would
like,
just create a
just,
situation where we're just
yeah.
staring at each other and looking a bit
Yeah, yeah,
stupid.
exactly. It's like, and like, if he moonblasts you, you're in a worse version of a mirror with a mon that ostensibly you kind of want to keep alive, right? That's your speed control. That's what really answers the float zone. Because if Tatsu like prevents him from using water moves, but what outspeeds and kills the float zone? It's only this Flargus, right? And
Hmm.
like from his perspective, your fastest guy is Zoroark, and then whatever the Scarfer is, and like Flurry doesn't really care about having a scar for Zorak. Like you like having it, but like you resist knockoff. You know what I mean. So it's like, and you counter most Zorak sets. So I thought it was really smart by him to do the trick that he wanted to do. He gets a lead matchup he wants. He knows you're going to switch, and he immediately tricks. And I think this puts you on like such a big back foot because Nasty Plot Rotom is also such a nice breaker. Like game one, you went Nasty Plot Rotom
Yeah.
against him twice in a row because it's clearly good against him, right? Mudsdale is not necessarily the best Nasty Plot Rotom counter. He doesn't seem to like his ride-ons, it seems.
Yeah, unless it's AV.
Yeah, but AB Mudsdale is a different situation. We'll see. So we get
Yeah,
our
this trick
Scarf Rotom.
definitely, yeah, it
Yeah,
caught me because my Rotom would have been so nice. And now, obviously, if he gets rocks up, my Rotom's on a big time.
yeah. And we see you hard switch into Venusaur, expecting, Mudsdale to come in on the Volt Switch pivot. As Flarges switches out into Mudsdale, so nice call by you. You're getting in the broken mon that nothing really switches on well, but obviously he has a Venusaur to switch into the Sludge Bomb, into the Earth Power, a Slam Slash to switch into the Sludge Bomb. You want to click Earth Power and Slam Slash, Sludge Bomb and Venusaur.
He also
See
has a
him
whole
going to
Porygon.
Venusaur. He also has a Porygon too that walls everything you do, and you can basically just fish for status. Um, Goes Venusaur. You Earth Power, expecting the Sand Slash, which is totally fair. And now you go Rotom Heat, which, keep in mind, has a Scarf, so if he gets this turn right, you are in serious trouble. And he goes Sand Slash. Was this shocking? Like, what's. That was crazy to me.
So when I went Rotom, I was thinking there's a chance that this Finu is knockoff. Um, And I suspect that's the same reason that he didn't go straight into the Porygon. Because if I knock off his Eviolite, he's that much weaker. This is, however, me being NFE brained.
Yeah,
Venusaur
it
doesn't
wouldn't
really
be.
run knockoff.
Yeah, sorry. It wouldn't be the first time having your own set has debated you into thinking, oh yeah, of course the opponent's running this, like which is very funny to me.
No, my
Uh
Venu isn't even knockoff, by the way. A previous
yeah.
version of this team it was, but this Venu isn't
Oh,
even
okay.
knockoff. But because I had knockoff in my mind, because in NFE, Ivysaur always runs knockoff, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's gonna think I'm knocking off. I'm gonna think he's knocking off. Let me go with the guy that I want knocked off.
Yeah.
Um,
And also
yes,
he's
so I
like,
go.
okay, so you go into Rotom Heat because having it knocked off would be amazing for you. He goes Sand Slash for one of the greediest spikes of all time because, like, yes, you're probably Sludge Bomb. You're likely not Earth Powering, but to just not recover or like even like play the mirror a little bit is like very interesting to me because he's like, I need to spike up. I need this. Like you can tell his priorities from this for me. It's like he wants this spike so bad he would even risk you over predicting and earth powering again, which is kind of a fair play, and taking 70% if it gets him that spike up. Like he knows that if he plays a slower game and he gets that those hazards down, that you're kind of cooked. Like not completely cooked, but you're kind of cooked. The more it's getting revealed without he wants that, and you get a really nice double as a result. See, you go Tatsu now. What's this about?
Good question. I think I keep thinking that he's gonna go Mudsdale on the Rotom because you don't want free momentum.
Right.
Does he go?
Um,
Does he go Mudsdale? Wait, click the button. What did he click?
let's see. He does go Mudsdale. You got
Yeah,
three.
there we go.
Let's see what you did. So you did this, right? You doubled the Venusaur on the Mudsdale. You clicked an attack. You got this double right, so you've got like two doubles so far, and then a third double in a row where you just kind of cooked him. In moves that look kind of
Yeah.
crazy to me, but but it worked out. And then we see him go Porygon 2, which traces Stormbraid. Very funny interaction that I'm guessing you have in your mind, right? Because you're like, yeah, he's a bulky guy, and then he also is immune to water. So you end up Draco Meteoring. So you predict the Porygon 2 and not the Sand Slash,
Yep.
or Arch Larges. So you predict correctly. And it does 31%. Does this tell you anything? Is it like
Yeah. So he's
standard?
he's a fat bitch.
Yeah. So nothing spread wise, it's just him being a fat bitch.
I think this showed me that he was sped deaf. I'd have to pull
Okay.
up the calcs again. Um,
Okay.
you know what? Let me calc that right now. It was two, Paragon two. Wait, no, Paragon two. Yeah, my Draco did how much? 31%. That's max sped F. Like 252, calm with the Violet for it to be doing that much or that little damage. That's a max roll even, which is fucking disgusting if you ask me.
Wait, you're saying
Yeah,
this is not SPDEF. This is regular
this is
def.
SpedF. This is no, no. This is as SpedF as it gets.
Oh, okay. And this is
Yeah, yeah,
non-specs,
yeah.
right? Or is it specs?
No, it's a Violet. It has to be a Violet.
No. I'm saying that that's it's
Oh no,
not
no, no,
boosted,
no. My
right?
Tatsu is standard like boots
Okay.
removal.
So 31 with the Draco Meteor is kind of absurd, but that's Porygon 2 for you. That's the Gen 5 stat creep that the overlords at Game Freak have imposed on us. We see you switch out because obviously you're not doing anything to this guy, even if you nasty plot like twice.
Yeah.
At -2 as he goes much. What this guy really likes his momentum, dude. He is doubling into his rockers with his Porygon 2 chip, with his Venusaur chip. He doesn't care. He is going into his Mudsdale the second he sees your guys low. Um, as you go right on, I assume to just rock on the Porygon 2, or thinking it doesn't have Ice Beam.
My ride on, well, first of all, it's my normal resist. If it's
Okay.
clicking tri attack, it also I think was SD. Let me double check. I have the team right here. Yeah, it's SD. That's the only
Okay.
guy that guaranteed sort of eventually forces the Porygon 2 out.
Yeah.
It is my rocker, so rocks would be nice. Um, yeah, and I think overall it's just a safe switch in because he's not download.
Yeah.
Ice
Yeah.
Beam barely does anything
Um,
to me,
did they
barring
did they
freeze.
run Ice Beam? Did they run Ice Beam in PU? Am I just completely off base thinking about that?
Hmm. I mean, I think it exists. You don't
Okay,
see
but
that much Porygon 2 in my
okay,
experience. When you do, I think you
okay,
see Tri Attack Shadow Ball because
okay.
you
That's
want to
all
have a
I
move
need
to
to
hit
know.
Hoopa.
Yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes sense. I
the
think
T Wave.
the shadow ball part. Yeah, because it's like okay, so that I think gives you like a little more confidence because shadow ball you don't care about, and that Mudsdale actually ends up being quite a good move for him because I think if he recovered here, he's still fine, but his spinner can't spin on your rocker. So now you have like the balls in your court. Um, you got Tatsu here, which I think is a little crazy. He stealth rocks, it forces out Mudsdale, and you nasty plot as okay, we'll have to talk about this because I saw this game going differently. So you got Tatsu here.
Yeah.
What is that about?
But I knew
You-
that from the way that he was playing, all he wants is to get his rocks up or like his hazards up. Like the way he's playing
yeah,
his Mudsdale, the way he's playing it, Sand Slash, like he wants
mhm,
hazards. And I want
yeah,
Tatsu in on the hazards and I want to be applying pressure with my Tatsu.
mhm.
Um, think that the nasty plot
Uh,
was a bit of an overclick. Like
yeah,
I just
yeah.
should
It's
attack it
like,
right
but
there.
yeah, I think so. But it is funny given that way that this worked out, and you brought in your dot so aggressively. You're also punishing the fact that this dude tricked away his Florges scarf and let his
Mhm.
Porygon 2 switch out without healing up. So now it doesn't really counter Tatsu if you like Nasty Plot. He ends up getting you with a really strong Earthquake on the Nasty Plot. And this is what I mean about him just playing like he makes one. You have to make like 50 moves right, and you've made like a lot of them right so far, right? But he gets one
Yeah.
move right, and now this game looks dire for you, in my opinion. Like your spinner's low at 22%. Everything else is sort of affected by hazards. You know your Florges is, you know your Rotom is. He doesn't know your Florges is affected by hazard, but he can guess who Zoroark most likely is. So it is timer city for you, and you end up as he goes Porygon 2 and gets Storm Drain. You predict correctly again and go Draco. Again, this could be a Florges switch on the Draco, which would completely cook you, right? So you get one play right.
Yeah, the other
Then
reason
he goes,
I actually think that nasty plot again when possible there if I'm being
yeah.
really greedy. Nasty plot
I
again
think it
there was
is.
possible.
Yeah, but I think what also Surf loses against is Terra Water or Mudsdale, or like some Terra Steel stuff. If he had it, like he could just Terra Steel EQ and feel like quite good about himself. So I'm guessing there's a good reason he didn't do that, and I'm gonna go to speculate because my thought is +2 neutral Draco kills a Mudsdale.
Yep.
So it's a Terra that's not Steel because Steel would just be too easy to click here. Or if you're Terra Water Surf or something giant like that. But P2 is clearly
Yeah,
the
I think
safest.
yeah, a lot
Good.
of Mudsteals run either Terra Water or Terra Dragon for the Sun
Mhm.
matchup.
Okay.
Terra
Yeah.
Steel's kind of not as common as I don't think it's that common.
I think that also makes you a little more confident in actually clicking a move here because you know you're going to kill Nuke this Mudsdale. And he goes Porygon 2 just to be safe because like he could lose the game here. Like he could like lose them on. Not lose the game, but lose them on.
Yeah,
And as you're at +0, he now pivots to the Stand Slash because he just wants to have it so bad as you miss Draco. Honestly, probably I'm not even going to count this as like a move that mattered in the game, most likely.
nah,
And you go Rotom
yeah,
Heat as he triple
yep,
axles. I think a huge turn for you because if he spikes, I think we're having a different conversation here. So yeah, yeah. Talk about this turn and like maybe a couple of the following turns for me.
Yeah, for sure. So right here, I actually think that the Draco on the Porygon, like after the Draco on the Porygon didn't kill, I think that spin might have been better. I guess it
Mhm.
didn't kill at 12%. Well, that
There's
makes
no way
sense.
it
Tots
kills.
is a weak
There's no
push
way it
back.
kills. There's
But
no way it
yeah, I
kills.
think spin might have made sense anyway because mm, spin means that I get rocks off. Rocks are really important because they help me. Well, once he has rocks, he has more information on my Zoroark, which is why I think he values it so highly.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing that was possible was like nasty plot on the Porygon.
Yeah,
Uh,
as he
I don't think that
switches
that mattered
over.
for the Sand Slash anyway. So once the Sand Slash comes in, I know
Mhm.
that I have my Scarf Rotom, which at this point I'm thinking of as kind of just a sack as opposed to something really important. Like it'll come
Yeah,
in, it'll force a move on Sand Slash, and I do think that I still get my one-time spin at some point this
yeah,
game. Like
yeah. I will like
despite the fact that
personally.
despite the
Sorry
fact
to
that
cut you
Tatsu's
off.
at 22%, it outspeeds all but one of his team.
Yeah, I will say it
Um,
like personally. I think that spinning on the Porygon too and letting Tatsu die at all would kind of be suicide. I think you would lose the game if that happened because his re-up is too easy with the mons. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm thinking I'm saving Tatsu. Rotom, if it gets spiked on, it's not the end of the world because even though my Tatsu is at 22%, I get a future spin, is what I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
as long
yeah,
as
yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
on anything but Float Soul, I get a future spin. And keeping my Tatsu alive at 22% is so important because that means that Float Soul can't just click water move.
Yep, and
With
and
that
and
implicit
you can
forcing
get
him
that
to
boost.
spin
You know, you can get the Storm Drain
him.
boost, and then make some threats. Now Porygon 2 dies to Stealth Rock, so now this game is like the dynamism in this game is like I think honestly this triple axle. If he got you with the spike, because yes you can spin, but it's kind of suicide. So the fact that he didn't spike here, I think if he loses this game, he'll look back on this turn and be like, "Yeah, I kind of should have spun, or I should have knocked out." But I guess knocking off the Rotoman so good. Like it's spike, right? I think it should spike
Yeah, it
if
had to
he
be
wants
spike.
to
It can't be
produce a
knocked
switch.
because if he knocks, then
Yeah.
I pain split my way back into the game.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. So then you double to Venusaur again because again you can't stay in with your Rotom and click a move because it lets the muzzle in too easy. Arguably, you can overheat here. It wouldn't be so bad because his switching is like Floatzel question mark Porygon 2 and even muzzle takes a good amount, but it's like he will heal that up with leftovers, and you don't have exactly great body press switch-ins, so it is like very understandable that you wanted momentum here, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
and
I've made this play basically every single time that I thought Mudsdale's coming in. I don't think I've
yeah,
clicked Volt Switch once, have I?
yeah, and you
Dude,
get
I haven't
Vina in
clicked
on
a
the
move
front.
on Rotom.
Yeah, that's so fun. The only thing we know about Rotom is that it got tricked on a choice scarf. And Venus in on Flarges now, and it seems he's either not Psychonized or Psychonized wouldn't do enough. Like, it kind of would be grief, but just something that goes through the back of my head, even when I have a super effective move in, is like, oh, I can kill this guy. He can Psychonize me, right? But he doesn't do that. He goes Venusaur, which is interesting because you're going into a losing mirror. He's probably predicting Earth
Yeah.
Power, and you hit him with the Sludge Bomb, which is 38. As you have, he has 39%. What was? Do you know what you thought the roll was here?
I'll have to count that, but like there definitely was a role to
Hmm.
kill. Um
Okay,
if I look at if I know my set. I don't know his set because I have a tiny bit of
special
a
invest.
tiny bit of HP, but I think
Okay,
he
okay,
was
okay,
like
okay. You have a lot of
defensive
special.
Venusaur from the
Okay,
damage.
so
Yeah,
you know
if
your
he's a
faster too.
defensive set, yeah, if he's a defensive set, then the roll for Sludge Bomb is 32 to 38.7.
Okay,
If
and
he's
like
at
he's on
39, I had
39,
no more
which
roll to
means
kill.
really, really 38 point something. To be fair, so like you still have like some part, in killing. And there's a crit rate and the fact that there's 8 cents. Obviously, sludge bomb here. Unfortunately, don't get it, but odds against you, I guess. Below that cent. And then we see you go Rotom Heat on the synth. Pretty obvious Heat synth, but like in the finals in game two, I do commend the you know, having the gumption to go for that. Um, and you click overheat as he stays in. This is insane, man. Do you predict he'd stay in? Were you really feeling that?
I predict to stay in. I also think like, damn, this Rotom ain't doing shit.
Yeah,
I need to kick a
yeah,
move. I was
yeah.
bored. I was like, my poor guy. He just wants to. He just wants to do something. So like,
And
yeah,
you
click
managed to get
overheat. If I
like,
get the chip on the Monsteel,
yeah,
that's chip. If I get the
yeah.
chip
It,
on the
it
Venus,
feels
that's
so good. It
insane.
feels so good,
As
so
I
good.
do, if I get the chip on the Florges, that's good as well. Honestly, I take it.
Yeah, yeah. And funnily, he doesn't send here because if he sent, you'd still be in huge trouble. He ends up sludge bombing and killing you off, which is in fact bad for him because now this damage on Vina will kind of last for a bit. And he doesn't kill. Because he also should have known that you were spit def, probably, but we can forgive him imagining you were like just 252 or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, no,
And
it's not normal to have the amount of spit F that I have. So it's
yeah,
totally
fair enough.
understandable for him to think that that sludge bomb 100% kills.
Mm. And but he didn't send, and now that damage is still there, regardless of if he killed or not. He did decide, I'm going to let my Venusaur be at 10% HP. Goes Florges on the
Yep,
overheat. You get an important crit here.
that's a huge crit for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, very huge crit. But I think, the fact that you were like down this much, like if I were playing against you, I'd be like, yeah, I should have spiked here. And not like, yeah, I got crit, which is incredibly unfortunate for him. Like, let's be honest, like this crit is massive because one, it gives you a free switch, and then two, it lets you scout the Florges. Like he's probably gonna have synthesis, but the fact that you know that for sure is surety on your side. And it wouldn't matter more in Terrablast meta or some weird stuff like that, but it is really nice to know that. As he sends and like it doesn't psychic noise on the switch.
yeah. At
And
this
now he has
point
to
in my
switch
head,
out.
I've kind of decided that he's not psychic noise. I
Okay.
just decided that
Yeah. And fair
because of the
enough,
number
you
of
need
times
to
where he
believe
could have
that.
picked it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You have to believe that to win because you're doing the opposite of what you did game one, where now you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take that risk, like it'll be fine. And then he goes to Porygon too. It's clearly working out for you. As Sludge Bomb, so he sacks the Porygon 2. There's no chance this Porygon 2 can recover in the game. And this Venusaur is kind of headed towards the same fate. So now if you look at the board, Floatzel kind of countered by Venusaur, Larges kind of countered by Venusaur, Mudsdale countered by Venusaur. The Sand Slash is his last line of defense, and arguably quite good against your team. So we'll see Sand Slash come in as you go Rotom Heat, sack it off. Please tell me for his sake he spikes here. He doesn't spike again?
no,
What is this guy doing, man? Like,
I'm
he
starting
has
to
to be
think he might
Spadef
not be
Slash, right?
spiked. There's a chance he's not spiked.
Oh, oh. Dude, almost for sure, because if he didn't click Spike here, that's criminal, man. Or he predicted a Tatsu. Let's be fair. Maybe he predicted a Tatsu on the Spike. I think that is
That's fair. Yeah,
probably, yeah, that is a likelier reason, but he could also not be Spike. Um, I didn't even consider that. So Rotom Heat on the knockoff. We see Rhydon come in, and important dynamic. Rhydon killed the Porygon 2 with Stealth Rock. Kind of the reason he let Porygon 2 go and not Venusaur, because Venusaur has boots, so it's not gonna get mogged by the Stealth Rock coming in. And this Rhydon will always keep rocks up against Sandslash, at least while the Rhydon's in. Sandslash will spend on one of the other guys, but Rhydon can force rocks up, so Rhydon can force progress here. And Mudsdale, good ride on answer, not the best. It's not like rock solid ride on answer. Forgive the pun. So you're going to rocks here for sure. He's going to Mudsdale here, makes sense. Maybe he could have Vena'd or Floatzel. Vena would have been crazy, actually. You could have lost to Vena, right?
he could have gone Venu.
I
He
think.
could have healed up on
Yeah,
my right on.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
entirely
yeah,
possible.
yeah, yeah. And then maybe force out Yatara, completely different game. But he does the safer Mudsdale. And now you collect Swords Dance because it seems like you have no Mudsdale answers or don't want to go Vina. What's the reason here?
Yeah, at this point, like my whole team is getting low as shit. My Venu is
Yeah.
not bulky enough to confidently take this Mudstail down, and I just kind of want damage on it because I'm starting to suspect in game as well that the Sand Slash isn't spikes from the number of times he hasn't clicked it.
Hmm.
And so if I can get the Mudstail completely down, my one-time spin might be more meaningful in the future.
Hmm.
Um, getting chip on the Mudsdale also really opens up my choice banded Zoroark because I have
Also, like a smaller point, but
yeah
having another mon that Florges is able to OH kill, you clear the Mudsdale, you clear the Venusaur, you beat the other Florges because you're faster, or at least you force the Florges into like just being a synth bot if you're tired. Floatzel dies, you know? Could be kind of cool
yeah absolutely
once the Mudsdale and Sand Slash are gone. So I like the Swords Dance, even though it feels messy. I don't know if you have a less messy way to try to win this game. Vina is like too slow and too defensive because Sand Slash will just spin on him. Like he doesn't care about Earth Power. And oh, I didn't mention this dynamic I did during the other cast. Forgive me. As soon as Sand Slash is in, you lose a mon to triple axle every single time, almost every
yep
single time. Ride-ons are switching to triple axle, which is a little absurd. You know, you're every time Sand Slash comes in for free, you lose a mon. So you don't want that to happen. Source Dance, Earthquake does no damage because it's defensive material. You know, ride-ons, you know, bulky guy. Right on earthquakes and does more to the Mudseal than the super effective earthquake did because +2, and then earthquake does 42 again. And unfortunately, because you did 59 and he's at 47, you're not even close to killing unless you crit. So let's see if you get the crit, and you do not. But the Mudseal is effectively dead, so your Rhydon did do something. He got rocks, he got this guy low, and now it's looking like possible late game sweep, right?
yep my
Um,
floor just looks incredible now. Like with this Mudsdale
yeah,
this low, my floor just basically forces it either forces but it forces Sandslash out, right?
yeah,
Um,
every time.
yeah,
The only
but
issue is
even that
that the
Sandslash
guy it
is not
forces
high.
in. Yeah, the only issue is that the Sandslash is 100%.
I know, but wait, why do I think that he's not high? Oh wait, is this my real Florges? It's my
Oh,
fake
yeah,
Florges.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
baited
yeah, yeah,
myself
yeah.
and you.
Yeah. We didn't get to really reveal. I kind of forgot halfway, but now I see why you thought that. But this is Florges, the regular mon, no trickery here, none at all.
Or is it?
And we see Florida's click knockoff, which I'm not even sure it gets. So it seems like either you hacked the game or something's going on because I don't really know. For the viewers, I'm sure it's a Zoroark. This is a Zoroark, so he's bluffing being a Florges. And then Florges comes in, like you mentioned, you thought he wasn't side noise, which means Venusaur is easier to come in. But it is terrifying to have this Sand Slash come in, man. And he does go Sand Slash as you click knock off. Now, I assume this is why you knocked off, right? You were like, yeah, this guy's going Sand Slash, right? How confident were you in this play?
This- I was just feeling it, dude. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason I went Zoroark disguised as Florges in the first place was I wanted to tempt him into saving his Mudsdale and
Mhm.
going into Sandslash, which walls Florges forever.
Yeah, which
Obviously, that's
I
not gonna
think
work first
yeah,
time,
it didn't work. It didn't work the first time.
but
And I think against a weaker player than MZ, it 100%, he would have just gotten baited and not, gotten knocked off and then been like, oh no, I just lose to Florges now. But Megazord doesn't do that. He goes to his Florges, he's doing the proper things, but you read and you make an insane read on a double and knock off a Sand Slash, and now the game is basically over, which is
yeah,
crazy to me. Like, not to glaze, but like, this was quite crazy to me. You knock off again, which I think is correct because you want to make sure Sand Slash is in the largest range. As he triple axles, misses, but if I'm being honest, I don't think this matters. It, even if it killed, which I think it's a roll, it kills most of the time. If I don't know if you remember the roll, but I think it has odds to kill at least. But
I can calc it right
seventy-two
now.
percent times the odds to kill is not very high. And then Florida just knocks
Yeah,
it off. Floatzel comes in because it's the only mon faster than the Zoroark. You sack the Zoroark, which makes sense. Arguably, could have gone Tatsu, you know, and just sacked it because it's not like Tatsu's that useful. But I do get like wanting to keep your water immune. Honestly, ignore that. You want to keep the water immune, whatever. You definitely don't want to sack Vina, so you want to have Florges and Vina for the late game, and then either Tatsu or Zoroark. Either way, I'm not super impressed.
yeah.
So
Zoro also
Florges comes
doesn't do
in.
anything against Florges, like real Florges. So yeah,
Yeah, fair enough. and
Oh,
it
by
goes
the way, another
Venusaur.
thing that was it just came to mind, but another thing that was going on when he went into the Florges is um that knockoff. Wait, I need to run a calc on this. I don't know if knockoff killed if I wasn't banded on the Mudstail, because if it didn't, there was a small chance that I was like a mixed Zoroark with
Oh,
Sludge Bomb,
like gunk
because
shot. Oh, gunk shot, sludge bomb
Sludge
stuff,
Bomb.
and then
I
Terra,
don't know if I get.
maybe.
I don't know if it gets Gunk Shot. I don't think it does, but it does get Sludge Bomb, and it runs Sludge Bomb on the
Let
spec
me
set
let me
and sometimes
let
on
me
the
let me make the calc. Um, so what are we calculating? We're calculating Zoroark sludge bomb. No, we're calculating Zoroark against Mudsdale.
Mudstail at
At
plus
plus
two.
two. Knockoffs from CB does 18.5, so non
Oh
CB
Jesus.
does
Okay, yeah. So I
4.6.
had to be. He was at 18.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understands that fact completely. Yeah, yeah. No, he was at 18, so he had to know that fact probably. So he goes Florges, you make that insane double, and then now the game's over. Florges comes in, you click Moonblast, I assume, as Venusaur comes in. Yep, Moonblast. And
Yeah.
you Terra Fairy Moonblast, really nice play, just making sure you do the damage numbers you need to, right? Because at this point, what he needs to do is probably like trick you, right? Kill the Florges with Floatzel, which you take recall from. And then now you have a Tatsu. So me suggesting you sack Tatsu was a little silly, but then you also have a Venusaur. So for Ice Spinner reasons, you know, his real hope was to trick you and then try to clean with CBI spinner. But he Moonblast instead, drops you, so you go Venusaur on the stint, and now you've just won because you have a Scarf for intact. Arguably here, maybe like there's a way I can argue Terra Fairy is a choke because here's my reasoning. If he tricks this turn, you don't 2 HKO him. He can Moonblast drop you into CB Ice Spinner range, and then Ice Spinner kills everything, and it kills Venusaur probably with a crit. I imagine it doesn't kill without a crit, so that risks you losing to crit because you said you were like kind of offensive, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say like 252 HP or like maybe 60 HP or something.
My
Uh,
Venusaur?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
40 HP.
Yo, you actually are really close to dying. Nah, you're 6.32 HP on your boots, but it was closer than it looked if you tracked here
Yeah,
and
if he
got
clicked
more chip on
trick.
your float flarges. But I mean, regardless, to get to this point was insane. Venusaur sludge bombs and outspeeds the Venusaur's faster. I'm silly. Um, yeah,
I
PU
think I
expert
sneaked
here,
you by
folks.
1 point.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Nice, 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 nice. So it does come into play. Sludge bombs kills it off. Obviously, going to float zone suicide because you want to go to float zone and last one try to kill somehow. Sack Tatsugiri and then Moonblast, and you've won the game. A very, very impressive comeback, I think, from a game where you had to play faster and a very risky bring. So, do you feel good going in game three? You're finally feeling yourself now?
Yeah, absolutely. After this game, I was like, I'm in here. I'm making this a game. Like, I'm not going down sad. I'm just trying to carry that
Wonderful.
momentum into the final game. And at this point, uh, in our PUPL chat, I got you pinging me saying, "Dude, you just played the best game of your life." I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
confidence
remember
is
being
up
like,
for sure.
yeah. And then I have game three up on my screen. You got
Yep, yep.
Bruxish Ambipom, some offensive guys in Bruxish and Hoopa, a Sand Slash. New additions appear in Kilowattrel. That's been looking quite decent. And Mudsdale, whereas Megazard has first off, he has the new additions in Kilowatt Roll and Tentacruel and Arcanine, but like for the Unks that played last SEL or were around last SEL, they also remember this guy, Arcanine, the normal Mudsdale. And then a Skuntank and a Zoroark. So he rips out Zoroark for game. Like, what is going on here? What's going on with the
So
teams?
remember in game one. when I said this guy likes his sucker punches, look at his
Yeah,
team, dude.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. And so when I
Sucker,
said that I was hoping
sucker,
my
key
dazzling
speed.
Bruxish creates some mind games, this is where it would be great if I was
This
dazzling.
was this
I'm
was
not.
this was the game. This was the dazzling game,
Yeah.
and
This
unfortunately,
was the
you are
dazzling
not
game.
dazzling. But he will
Yeah.
have that in mind, I assume, as the game is played out. He will definitely have this in mind. Anything you want to say about the team in particular that you used?
Yeah, so this team is as close to a comfort pick as I had, especially of the three teams that I brought. It's very much
Mhm.
a hazard stack with AV Hoopa. AV Hoopa
Oh,
is one of my favorite guys. It comes from
yeah.
the classic picks team with a
Yeah.
Dozrio I used in another
Yeah.
pro. Yeah, it's really good because it blocks what used to be the main spin blocker in Tatsugiri, while quite
Yeah.
easily taking a hit. Unfortunately, that doesn't really work for Tentacruel because Tentacruel, first of all, outspeeds, and second of all, runs knockoff, which blows
Which
that shit
is
up.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
400% probably.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so my
A
spin
lot of
blocker
that.
is not, yeah, my spin blocker is not phenomenal.
Mhm.
And keeping hazards up might be a little bit harder than I initially planned.
Um, and just to round out, we see the suckers against non-dazzling Bruxers, but you're probably gonna like play around with the Bruxers and at least keep a doubt in his head that it's like, oh, okay, he's gonna be dazzling, so I'm not gonna sucker this turn. Or you want to play on those mind games. You see the kilowatts, they're just gonna stare at each other the whole game. You have a sand slash that is not like it is addressed to a degree by the offensive pressure his stuff's putting out, but not really addressed to the extent where if Arcanine switches in, you got to spike up. Tentacle doesn't keep off against Sand Slash because yes, you knock it off and yes, you wall all its moves, but Sand Slash will knock you off and spin on you if you T spike. And there's a spin blocker, so there's always mind games here. So that all being said, we're gonna get into the game. Also, the fact that you're not dazzling Bruxish, this Arcanine is a threat. Once Muzzle goes down, you are really scared.
This Arcanine is
Um,
a threat
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And like, I love Hoopa. This mon can cause progress in any game. It's a testament to this mon that in a game where the spinner can kill you and there's two dark types, I think Hoopa will still put in some work. Like just an incredible mon that I wasn't glazing enough before PUPL. So we see Bruxish come in as a lead. I assume part of the reason is also like you have that thing in his head where it's like, oh, this is dazzling Bruxish. This is dazzling Bruxish. I can't use Sucker Punch to counter it, right? And he leaves up Musdale.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's in his head. But also, Scarf Bruxish is always a good lead, or
Yeah,
almost always a good lead because you just flip on whatever comes in.
yeah.
Once I reveal flip, it is probably revealed to be Scarfed. Scarf can still
hmm
be dazzling, but it more often than not wants to be Strong Jaw for
Yeah,
those Psychic Fang sweeps.
yeah. You got Mudsdale here, so you don't want to reveal the flip. I'm guessing that's it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do some stupid shit with the mind games
Yeah,
that are going on in my
yeah,
head. I'm trying to
yeah.
make
Because
the shit in my head. I'm trying to put that in his head.
yeah,
Um,
because honestly, like Chip on Mudsdale would have looked amazing, or like imagine him going Skuntank or like Tentacruel here, right? Um,
yeah.
so a
The
little
other
bit
thing
of
that I was concerned
offensive.
about is
Mhm.
this could be a Zoroark and it could be a Scarf Zoroark, which would instantly kill my Bruxish.
Oh, okay. That is actually really, really good to keep in mind. Is that any of these mons could be a Zoroark, guys? There's no hazards there, see, so we have zero information on what this guy actually is. Maybe he's the sus imposter. So we see Mudsdale as it does actually end up being a Mudsdale and Stealth Rock. You
Yeah,
Stealth
back end of
Rock
this.
as yeah. Earthquake. So the progress that he has gotten on you is quite minimal. And I think the fact that Brux is switched out doesn't really tell him anything because any Brux set doesn't want to take a knockoff from Scarf Zoroark, right? Not sure if he knows what you think or like what that is, but I don't know if he thought anything of you switching out. And this 27% on Mudsdale is very minimal progress, and body press from your Mudsdale does more currently because of the death boost. So we'll see what you end up doing. You Earthquake as Megazard very reasonably roars into kilowatt roll, which is possibly the best thing you could have against a Muzdale, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Hoopa maybe.
Yeah,
looking
go
good
for
as well.
boss
But
plays.
yeah, Kilo's as good as it gets. Like immune to
Yeah.
EQ, resist the body press, even though I still take quite a lot from it. And
Yeah, you take a
Hurricane does
ton.
quite
This
a
guy has
lot.
no bulk. Yeah, Hurricane does a
Yep.
ton, and you are Hurricane, which we will talk about in a second in this game because he goes his own kilowatt roll to avoid your Hurricane damage. You miss, dude. I'm starting some probability stuff. I don't even want to think about the odds of what's going to happen here because you U-turn. Okay, so we don't get to talk about this. You U-turn the Sand Slash. You don't want the mirror as. So first off, there's a speed tie dynamic where he loses the speed tie, and that's good for him. So he gets a slow turn. Where if you got the slow turn here and you slow turned on, let's say he goes Arcanine, you can go Bruxish or Mudsdale or whatever. If you go Skuntank, you manage to let it take a round of rocks and you go Mudsdale, right? But unfortunately, he gets a slower turn, but you have the Sand Slash guy that doesn't get too much progress against it. You go
Um.
Mudsdale,
Yeah. Sorry, just to cut you off really
and
quickly.
go ahead.
This point, and definitely later on, but at this point, I'm already beginning to suspect it. The way that he's playing his Killer Watch Roll, I highly suspect that first of all, he's Volt Absorb and not competitive because this is his
Hmm.
Killer Watch Roll switch in.
Hmm.
And second of all, I'm pretty sure he's slow, or at least slower than my Killer Watch Roll because
Wait, wait, wait,
he's
wait. So
going for
you
that.
Oh, he's
Sorry.
going for the mirror and he's slower. But you're saying you're
Yeah,
not Volt Absorb?
I'm competitive, dude. I'm look at my team. I'm a hazard stack.
Whoa. Oh, okay. This might come into play later on because I didn't. This didn't even cross my mind. Oh my god. So he could be slow turning, could be a tie he lost. We'll check over enough trials because we will see these two guys looking at each other again. But he gets the
Yeah, for
slower
sure.
turn into Arcanine, which is definitely preferable for Megazard. You don't have a real fire resist. You end up going Mudsdale, which does well enough here. Also, funny enough, you mentioned the different abilities coming through, right? No Intimidate on Arcanine, which is
Yeah, this really
quite
messed
interesting.
my head
Yeah.
because I was thinking, no intimidate. This could be a Zoroark.
Yeah, that's gotta terrify you. And so part of the reason we went Buzzkill, I mean, man, this looks scary. And we see
Dude,
the
you know what I
flirters come
almost
in
did?
and do a ton.
Dude, I almost thought I was being a fucking genius. I was like, oh, no intimidate. This is definitely Zoroark. Let me stay in
Bro
with my
almost
Sand
lost.
Slash.
And okay,
Oh,
okay, now I'm understanding why he was Flashfire. It's for this specific reason, so you can bluff Zoroark. And then
yeah. In part, it's this.
that
In part,
honest to
it's
God
that
might
this
be, yeah.
Arcanine sets up on opposing Arcanine.
Yeah, fair enough. And
If
then
you're Terra Ghost, you can hardball
yeah, yeah,
opposing
yeah.
Arcanine.
Oh man, the ball knowledge on these guys. Okay, so Mudsdale takes a good chunk from Flare Blitz. Is this zero attack?
I think that's quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, it looked like a lot to me. It looked like a lot to me, I'm not gonna lie. So zero attack Arcanine does nowhere close to this damage to I assume your defensive Mudsdale, right?
Yeah, full defense.
Um, yeah, this looks like 252 Arcanine mid roll on Jolly. So this is an offensive Arcanine you're facing, which makes sense on the team he's on. But it's also like you could imagine Kilowatt Roll Cruel Mudsdale is balanced on Megazard's side, right? But it's like nope, this is offense. This is all out offense. Um, and he goes Mudsdale as you are going to click Roar. Very smart Roar in my opinion because one, you don't play the tie mind games with Muzdale, which is kind of like the kilowatt. You have a kilowatt mirror that's like boring as watching paint dry to look at, and then a Mudsdale, which is boring as paint dry to look at. But it's not easy. It's not simple. It's actually complicated and boring, which is the worst kind of mirror to play. So roaring it out is something I like, and you get the literal best thing you could roar out into, which is Skuntank. And you still don't know what the Zoroark is like pretending to be. This could be Zoroark, but obviously Zoroark and Skuntank, assuming it's physical, is fine for Mudge to play against. And if it's not specs, you're chilling as Zoroark too. Unfortunately, he reveals Grass Knot. Was this like as shocking to you as it was me? Because I was like, huh?
My friend,
Like
Skuntank
what?
does not learn Grass Knot.
Oh, so it's Zoroark. Okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So,
so
hey,
yeah, you were talking about the
just to get a
Zoroark. The
guess.
Zoroark is special on this team, as I
Hmm.
think most are. My
Okay,
Bandit Zoroark was more out of the ordinary than this
okay.
choice spec Zoroark. Only
I
spec
see.
Zoroark. I was thinking about Zoroark. Only spec Zoroark can kill my
Hmm.
Mudskeel from here,
Okay.
and that would be valuable information. If it was
Hmm.
scarfed, it can't kill.
Dark
If I'm not
Frostmark doesn't
wrong,
kill?
don't think it did. I'm pretty sure I count that in the game. I can check that real quick.
It
Calc
looks
pulled
like it
up.
kills, but
What does it?
to be fair, Scarf Zoroark is probably going to be physical because
Yeah,
then
it's
like
more that
the other
Skarsgård
moves
doesn't
will
really
kill.
run
Yeah,
grass
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. So it's like if it's grass not specs, which is fair enough. So it's like
Yeah.
you find out it's a it's a Zoroark, and you feel
Yeah.
comfortable
So
going
when
to
you said
spin that.
I pulled out possibly the best possible guy, complete
Oh, it
opposite
ended
of
up
that.
being
Actually, I
the
pulled
worst
the
possible
worst
guy.
possible guy.
Unfortunate, unfortunate. And so you find a pretty free spin. Instead, you end up knocking. I can imagine like Megazord thinking, "Oh yeah, he's going to triple axle. I live that very comfortably." And then I have like a boosted body press, so this killer watt roll's gone. But or spin where he's just going to force you out in stealth rock. But you end up knocking him off instead. And now you're again in like a game 2S position. You're lower on bonds, you're lower in progress. He's like, he can gain momentum on you really quickly, And so this knockoff now at least makes you have one guy that you have steady progress against. So I think this knockoff is a huge move, huge play. And then we go kilowatt roll. And he body pressed with the Muzzy. He does not roar, which I think he might have been a little bit afraid, maybe just a little, of being stunted on with spin on the roar. But I think kilowatt roll and body press are like for both sides are relatively safe switches, right? You would say so.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
and then we see Hurricane and kilowatt roll. Very unfortunate miss. As he earth, why would he earthquake, bro? What is this?
He's trying to catch the roost. I think
He's trying
it's
to catch a roost or maybe a U-turn to like Bruxish possible or Hoopa, but that to me is like an absurd play. Like you
but yeah,
you go
taking out the
kilowatt
arcane and
roll there.
arc missing
Yeah.
just sad.
Okay. Yeah. Just awful, awful hurricane miss. Now, what is your way of winning this game? I guess this is like kind of a quiz, but 'cause I have an answer in my head because you played this game.
I think my answer, you'll see if you continue clicking.
Okay, so I think
It's
we have the
definitely
same
dire
answer.
straits right here. It's
Yeah.
definitely dire straits right here.
Um,
Like,
I don't know, dude, because I remember clicking on this kilowatt roll. So he ends up going kilowatt roll on the Hurricane that does 42%. And now there's like a ton of odds here. There's the odds of Hurricane hitting and critting. There's the odds of Hurricane critting and hitting and confusing. There's the odds of Hurricane missing enough times that Air Slash takes you down. Spoilers, this is Air Slash. You don't know this at the time, but it is Air Slash. So there's no clear move here that's right, but largely you want to be hurricaning and roosting, and then the kilowatt will roost on the hurricane, the kilowatt will hurricanes again. It's like who's to say what's unlucky or lucky? There's a whole like game tree of the possible outcomes, and I'm not enough of a nerd to figure out like what the likeliest outcome of 16 hurricanes versus 8 roosts with like hits and confuses is. I'm not doing any of that. But like vibes wise, you end up U-turning because you don't want to deal with the stuff either. And he ends up roosting. So you end up getting kind of a good version where he's scared to play the mirror. And interestingly enough, this whole time he thinks you're bold absorbed, yes?
no, I don't think he thinks I'm Bold Absorb. Because of my team structure. Like looking at my team structure, you see a hazard stack, you see a ghost
So why
stack that's
wouldn't
trying to be a spell
doesn't he
blocker. You
doesn't he
need
have P-Bolt though?
he should, but like okay, if I'm him, I would assume that I'm not Volt Absorb because I'm looking for a defog deterrent. Right? That's the whole
But I
point of the
think
hazard stack structure.
yeah. Like well once you mention it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. But like in this position, if you have an attacking move to click, like if your kilowatt kind of was the opposing one, you spam roost and then you T-bolt, right? And the reason you
Um,
like get out of this mirror is you lose the mirror.
I lose the mirror. He
Yeah,
can click T-ball at any point, but so far I've hit enough hurricanes where he has to roost every time. Otherwise, if I hit
yeah.
two in a row, he's gone. He's gone. and he
Fair
knows that
enough.
I'm faster at this point. Like I won too many
Yeah.
quote unquote speed
Yeah, you
ties
want too
for
many
this to
speed
not
ties, and
be.
I think
Yeah,
he's like he's either deliberately undersped or he's gone modest or some kind of deal. And you
yeah.
triple
Also
axle on the
from
Mudsdale, and
calcs.
that's why knock is so important because now this Mudsdale doesn't get to heal up to the point where here 6% matters so much because Musdale is higher def, right? So now triple axle wouldn't kill. I apologize for cutting you off. But like that's why that knock to me is so important, and it's like something like someone new to competitive wouldn't really get why it was immediately important. And now he can triple axle again as he goes Arcanine, so you don't have to switch his Sand Slash out, and his Arcanine's either going to have to recover or it's like Flare Blitz as you go Bruxish, but you let the Sand Slash guide Arcanine. Any thoughts on why you did this?
Yeah, it was potentially a big mistake there. Because my
Hmm.
Sand Slash was my assurance against the Kilowattrel.
Yeah,
Um, Without my Sand Slash there, my Kilowattrel has to take care of his Kilowattrel. But I
yeah,
think that there were lines where if I let him set up here for free, I'm in
yeah.
big danger.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, and the Bruxish isn't dazzling, which you might find out. So if you went Bruxish on the Flare Blitz, it's like his Skuntank could be like some Rocky Helmet default stuff, which basically means Bruxish kills itself, attacking Skuntank. And
yeah,
like the answer to your question, the question I posed you, like how do you win, is basically this Ambit Bomb. It just comes in and fakes out. And this is why Knock is so huge because now he feels compelled to sack the Mudsdale to the Sand Slash and all those things. Because otherwise, Mudsdale would just sit in Ambit Bomb and chill. But now it can't do
yeah.
that because now the Ambit Bomb is going to come in. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to claim it free kill every single time it comes in. So you go Bruxish, you flip turn as he lets go of a sack, he lets go of Mudsdale. You are 4v6. Now it's 4v5. Not like going Skuntank is like free or anything, but I think this is important to note because of the Amber Bomb factor. The way you beat Amber Bomb, we casted this in. You remember the Amber Bomb war in Regiboob Franklin? It's just about who has more Pokemon, dude. It's like you go Amber Bomb, you fake out. Oh, opposing fake out, you switch out, and then you go back in with fake out.
Yeah.
So now you have 3 times that you can click fake out and sack them on. And if you don't have the sack them on, that's just a little extra bonus, you know? He goes Skuntank, which is the real Skuntank because it was at 100 and now it's at 88. You fake out, take Rocky Helmet Chip. I promise I'm not Nostradamus. I just casted this series once before. Skuntank flinches. And then you go Kilowatt Roll. As he sucker punches, insane play by you. Where you like, what?
I kind of had to make a play there because he's not. He has the sucker. I think I'm pretty sure double edge.
Like Double Edge would kill,
Wait,
but Double Edge
triple axle.
maybe
Did
does
triple
like
axle kill from that point?
I think it did because it looks like offensive Rocky Helmet's contact to me. But let me do a quick calc because I am
I have the calc here. It's 65 to 77. What was he at?
he was at 53. So you were well within your rights to kill it. But actually, triple axel is a problem because you take 3 Rocky Helmet chips
I take three Rocky helmets plus aftermath.
plus aftermath. And 3 Rocky Helmets is 1/6. So 3 Rocky Helmets gives you a half. So you take a half damage there at 34%. Plus aftermath, which gives you 25%. So you're at 9% after that. Meaning that extreme speed mugs you, and then anything you need to double edge. Like if you need to double edge Zoroark or Tentacruel, that means you die, right? So obviously not an ideal situation. So from his perspective, Sucker Punch is a little bit of overkill. You get what I mean? Like you will basically kill this Ambit Bomb if you knock off an Ambit Bomb kills you. But for some reason, he sucker punches as you go Kilowatt Roll. I have been kind of a hater, a bit of a critical guy, but I think this is a massive choke by Megazard not knocking here and getting guaranteed progress because now Kilowatt Roll has progress on the Skuntank. And like Skuntank could like die for free against Kilowatt Roll because if you sucker on the roost and then like now he has problems. Do you feel like
He does in fact have problems.
yeah,
Yeah,
now
and
now
I
you feel
really
like you're
needed
in the
this
game, right?
Kilowattrel to win as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like you're not sacking this guy. You're going and praying he sucker punches.
Yep.
And he goes Kilowatt as you Hurricane. Again, his Kilowatt easily beats yours if he clicks the move Thunderbolt once. You U-turn, as your Hoopa. And Hoopa lives all Kilowattrel's attacks, but the problem with Hoopa into Kilowattro is that U-turn will do like 15-20%, and then you go into a guy like one of the dark type that beats it, and then Hoopa's just gonna get chipped down because he'll beat. Fortunately for you, he rules, so you get to play right, and you're playing aggro enough. Now, Hoopa is like a mid-ground version of Ambipom. If you're a Psycho, you Ambipom here, but actually Fake Out doesn't kill, right? So yeah, Ambipom's
Yeah.
probably grief, and then you die to something. The hoop has like a nice mid ground that makes progress, and but the move to click isn't here because you want to Psychic Noise on the Tentacruel, but you want to Shadow Ball on. Well, no, you want to Focus Blast on Zoroark and Skuntank, but you want to Shadow Ball just like a general target. Like that's what the safest move is. But he ends up going Tentacruel on the Hoopa as you Focus Blast, so he kind of read you a little bit, and now you mentioned at the start like this guy knocks off and he completely mauls him, right? So like,
Yep.
what
And
do
he
you do here?
outspeeds.
And he outspeeds,
Hey,
and you
I
stay in
decide
on his
that
left arm.
he's not knocking.
So you make a hard call. You're saying I'm
Mind
risking
control
my
him.
tournament on the line. On the line, I am because. And the funny thing is, you're risking everything on him not having knockoff. But if he does have knockoff, you lose anyway, right? Even if you switch and do all
Yep.
that stuff. So you might as well play for him not to have knockoff, right? Right, like Brick Ramon said, don't play not to lose, play to win. And you are making the call that he doesn't have knockoff. He sludge bombs, which does nothing, and Sasha can kill the Tentacruel. And now you went from suddenly like, oh yeah, this guy probably loses to, I think you're completely winning here, right? I think that's fair to
Ooh, I
say,
don't know about completely winning
but
because his
very close to it with the
look
Scarf
at my
plus.
Hurricane PP. My Kilowattrel might be
Yeah,
done, and if my Kilowattrel is
yeah.
done, his Kilowattrel wins, kind
You
of.
need to hit every single Hurricane, or at least 8 or 9 out of 10. Wait, you do
Need to
42,
hit
42,
enough.
and then you need to hit at least 6 or 7, like 6, 7, which is a lot. And then you terrified the Hoopa on the knockoff. Nice play by you. And do you have Focus Blast? Oh, you miss a Focus Blast.
Yeah.
But
So if I
it
hit
is
that Focus
funny.
Blast, it was one.
It was one easily. But it's
Yeah,
funny because
that
knockoff did.
call to pop my Terra was a
Yeah,
huge turn. It was genuinely a
I
huge
think I
turn,
think
and I
it's
think it
huge.
was
I think
my
it's huge. I think it was a game-winning move if you didn't get unlucky, you know.
yep.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
you see, knockoff to 32%, dude. If he's, we don't know what else this contact has. Assumably defog, and then sometimes it ran toxic. I think Fuse ran that in SCL. It could be poison moveless, and it could like not be able to kill the Hoopa because 97.5%, 97.5 BP move did. Oh wait, yeah, magician. So I'm wrong here, right?
I'm gonna cut you off there. Defog does not exist in this generation. It has to be
Whoopsie.
poison move. You don't have enough moves to want to not have poison
Okay.
move.
But I was thinking like. Also, I was thinking magician would give Hoopa the item, but I think you have to attack to get magician. But point being, like sucker or knock, don't kill. So he can't sucker or knock. He has to do something else. We'll just leave it at that. I
Yeah.
wasn't wrong. And he does have gun shot, and he kills you off. So he hits his move, you don't hit yours, all good. You kilowatt roll, and he goes his kilowatt roll. So he's playing like he is really playing. Talk about playing not to lose, man. That's like Brian playing not to lose. And you Hurricane,
Yep.
you Hurricane again because you're a bit faster. As he roosts, he doesn't U-turn into the presumably Scarf Zor. No, it's Spec Zoroark. Okay, but he doesn't U-turn into the Zoroark. And funnily enough, I did calc this during my first recording. Your Hurricane is a good role to kill Zoroark. I don't know if you were aware of that during
Yep.
the game or you were thinking about it, but yeah, it is true that Hurricane's a good role to kill Zoroark. So it does get very tricky for him actually dealing with Kilowatt roll. You roost
Like
as
my Kilowattrel wins this game if I beat this Kilowattrel with enough PP left.
yeah, 100%. And like his roofs are so low, all he can do is get a couple more hurricanes. He U-turns because he's not
Mhm.
even comfortable with the mirror that he was supposed to win. He goes Arcanine, and then he goes Kilowattrel, expecting you to like switch out on like an extreme speed to Bruxish or something. But you get him with the
Yep.
Thunderbolt. He Volt Absorb. Arguably, could have Hurricane here. But to be fair, if he's bringing Arcanine, like worst case, he does this and you look silly. But the worst case of hurricaning is you miss as he flare blitz, which is the only reason you bring Arcanine, right? You don't bring Arcanine just to have fun. Like so, what he did was kind of nonsensical. So I guess I'm being a little pedantic with this Thunderbolt. But like,
No, no, no. So what did make sense from that play is he's wasting my Hurricane PP. I'm already at 8. If he
ah,
goes into Arcanine and I continue clicking Hurricane, like I'm running out of PP really soon. And yeah, we can continue playing. I haven't watched this in a while, but I do remember at the end of the game, I'm at 0 PP.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I remember
with
seeing your
zero,
PPs.
yeah, with
Yeah.
0 PP, I still win this game with
Mhm.
Thunderbolt if the Kilowatt Roll is dead.
Yep. But I do want to mention that if you Hurricane and hit the Arcanine, it's worth losing your PP for sure. Or if he goes Kilowatt. Like either way, if you hit a
T-Bolt kills.
Hurricane, what? Yeah, yeah, T-Bolt
T-Bolt
does
kills
kill. But
Arcanine.
I was just being, I was just being pedantic about the switch stuff. So because he has 3 Roosts and 8 Hurricanes, um, what he did is good, and then you Hurricane, as he air slashes. So he reveals air slash and he clicks air slash. So this is what makes me think, dude, that he thought you were Volt Absorb this entire time. There's no way he doesn't
Yeah.
click electric move. Yeah, like he thought you were Volt Absorb, which it is what it is. Like I've made like chronic mistakes like that, and then like just beat myself up over that. But that's gotta feel bad. Um, and then you're gonna roost, as he can't do anything to you once you roost because electric type resists everything Kilowatt does. He roosts. 2 roosts in this guy, 6 Hurricanes on you. You Hurricane as the air slashes. And now you're down to 6. Okay, now you're down to 6 Hurricanes. And now you're down to 5 Hurricanes as he's on 1 roost. So you need to just hit 3 Hurricanes. You hit one
I
of
need him to hit
the 3 that
himself.
you need. Yep. And he roost. Oh, did he confuse at some point? I
I really
think I
need him to hit
remember you
himself.
confused.
Not yet.
You ruse
Because I was
as the
counting
air
during
slash
the game. I was like,
your
how
hurricane.
many times
Oh,
before he
and
gets confused and hits
finally you
himself?
confused. Finally you confused. So we need a hurricane
Hmm.
report because I know everyone's watching this video. I have like too many viewers, so they're gonna analyze all the hurricanes and find out how many of them hit, how many of them missed, how many of them hit and confused. I think it's the first 10 confused, and then now you have to run a table on the self hits. So it hit itself once, and you hit once again, and you manage to kill the kilowatt roll down with 1 hurricane PP remaining. If you missed one here or there, it was done. Like you actually don't
Yep.
win the mirror. He goes contact or bench kill, and you have that 1 hurricane to kill him off, and you hit it, and it ends up being Zoroark, which is why you actually did it because contact is well actually wait, contact is really low, right? So you know it's Zoroark,
Yeah, I
all
knew it was
right?
Aurora.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, that's good. Nice, the 41. So you know it's Zoroark, and you have to hit a hurricane to kill the Zoroark because Thunderbolt doesn't kill. Does he end up heading? Yep. And now the game is over because Amazon just wins, as they say on Smogon. Arcanine comes in, Terra normals, kills you off. But what does it matter when Fake Out is higher PP than anything? Ambipom comes in, goes contact, the sack, and now you click U-turn on the Arcanine, which to me is a very nice way of securing the game because, again, if Arcanine kills you, you don't care. The Bruxish beats the Arcanine, right? Even though you're not dazzling, you live 1 hit.
Yep.
If he curses and recovers on your attacks, you lose. Wait, so
Yep.
if you had double edge, you could have maybe double edged, but
I don't have double edge. I'm triple axle. Triple axle knock,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
faked
yeah.
out,
So yeah,
U-turn.
knock might not kill, and U-turn's definitely the best move. So if you can't kill him, U-turn's easily the best move because that not only switches you to Bruxish to allow you another fake out in the future. If he curses, he's too low and he's in Bruxish range, right? If he recovers, he's
Yep.
still kind of in Bruxish range. So you U-turn, you do enough damage, and the turn normal too. Everything just works out. Pokemon can be such a beautiful game. You go Bruxish as the Morning Suns, you're at 60, but now you reveal the Strongjaw. Last turn, you reveal the Strongjaw to win the PU ladder tour. Incredible, incredible series. I think really strong by both of you. Do you have any ending thoughts on this before I end the recording, Reggie?
Yeah, no, it was really great to relive this because this was like over a week now, I think. Over a week ago that I played these games.
Hmm.
Peak of my very short Smogon career so far. It was a really fun game.
Yeah,
I wish we had P World Cup so that I could carry this momentum into something.
it
But I
was.
guess I'll just have to settle for SCL first draft. Like I'm probably gonna go for
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
30, 40K
Yeah,
probably.
30, 40. No, 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 no. If I don't get manager, you're going only for 30, 40. But if I'm manager, trust me, we're getting you to that 50 spot.
Oh
But
hell yeah.
unfortunately, yeah, we had you win this, and then there's even the possibility of starting and stuff. But we unfortunately did end up losing PUPL the same week, I believe. So a little bit
Yep.
bittersweet that we were eliminated from the tournament at the same time, but an incredible accomplishment. Really fun cast. Thank you for casting with me, Reggie. I do need to actually run to a birthday party, so I will end the recording immediately. But thank you for watching, like, and subscribe. I will see you guys later. Bye.